Good evening, everybody. Producer Tate here, Tate Brown, holding it down. Our fearless leader, Tim Pool, is down for the count. His throat is gone, and we need him locked in for the Culture War Live this weekend. So I'm here, I'm holding it down, and I see you. I see what you're doing. You're hovering your finger on the X button. That's not right. You got to give me a chance. You got to let me cook a little bit. You got to let me operate. So at least give us like 10 minutes, and then if you don't like it, then you can do whatever you're going to do anyway. But we got some massive stories tonight, so you're going to want to stick around. The first one, get your calculator, get your abacus. It's census time. Trump wants a new census, and he's going to get one. Maybe. We'll get into it. The redistricting's obviously been in the news recently, and it's heating up. Trump wants to go and he's demanding that we get a new census. We got to count because there's a lot of illegals in the country. There's a lot of states that are overcounted and a lot of states that are undercounted. We got to get it right. So we're going to get into that. We also have the Texas redistricting situation heating up. We just had a memo sent out to House reps that members that have broken the quorum have to head back to Texas to get their checks. So it's a little bit of a standoff, a Texas standoff. The Dems in flight aren't too bright, deep in the heart of Texas. I came up with that about 30 seconds ago. Tough crowd. Anyway, also, D.C. is a total disaster zone. Nothing's new there. We all know this. It's a blue city, da-da-da-da-da. But we got an interesting story. The D.C. police commander was falsifying violent crime data. So if you thought the violent crime data was bad, it's actually way worse. He was, as we say in the Zoomer world, capping. And finally, in addition, we got some more stories coming, but the last big one we got is Steve Bannon secretly running for president. We're going to find out. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of knife fights. But before we get to that, we got some big advertisements, huge advertisements. They're all in-house. We got the Uncancelable board. This was the logo for the independent skate brand. Not much of a skater, but I've had to really, get into this culture since I've been here, and I've learned about this. And this is actually a really shocking story. It was an apolitical skating brand. They had this logo 50, 60 years, something like this. And then all of a sudden, last 10 years, people throw a fit. They say, oh, it's a far-right symbol, da-da-da-da-da. And Tim took it over. He's taken it back. It's uncanceled, and the board is called Uncancelable. It's a beautiful thing. So go to shop.boonewshq.com, get you a board, get in there and grab you one. And coming up on Saturday, we got the Culture War Podcast live. Get your tickets. I think preferred seating is sold out, but we still have general admissions tickets. This one is going to be a juicy one. It's a debate all about feminism. We got Kat Timpf there. We got Kyla Turner, who's great. If you don't know her, she's great. She's on the left side, all right, but you got to give her a chance. She's actually pretty good. And we got Myron Gaines. If you know who Myron Gaines is, he's very pro-feminism, so he's going to obviously be arguing in favor of feminism, clearly. So just kidding. Obviously, he's not. That'll be interesting. But get there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of yelling, probably a lot of heckling. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Make sure you get your tickets. Finally, Timcast.com. Become a member, join the conversation, join the fight. We got exclusive member content with the call-in show. We have a Rumble live show, or the Rumble after show, which is uncensored. You can let anything fly. It gets wacky and wild. Get in there, get in that show, give us a call. You could do it today if you wanted, or tonight. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Not entirely sure, so if that doesn't work, don't quote me on that. But to discuss that and everything else, we got Tony Ortiz.
So happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm excited that you're hosting.
Yeah, well, you're here for the first, so it could be the last. I don't know. I think you're a good omen.
I think it's the third time I've been here, actually.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so it's the first time with you, though.
Right,
so,
okay.
Yeah, we were chatting earlier in the week about Texas stuff.
We were. Yeah, if you were catching the morning live shows, you would have seen Tony on there cooking. But yeah, who are you? What you do?
Yeah, Tony Ortiz. I'm a publisher for Current Revolt. We are kind of like a national enquirer for Texas news, Texas political news, and publish a lot of really great breaking stories and kind of insider stuff going on at the Capitol. Been doing it for about 5 years, and you can follow us on Twitter at Current Revolt or currentrevolt.com.
Cool. Love it. We also got producer Sean.
Producer Sean in the house, guys. Thanks for having me. If you're still here after seeing Tate's face, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm on hashtag Give Tate a Chance.
Really? That's a beautiful thing. I've been pushing that since high school.
I know, and no one's listening. It's okay.
Yeah,
but yes, thank you. Thank you for being here. Typically, I'm doing the clips for the show, so tonight, no clips. Sorry about that, but follow us, Timcast News.
It's true.
Everywhere.
We got Carter in the cut.
What's up? Carter Banks here, Timcast music producer and audio engineer and Trash House Records. Tate, this is your first. Is this first Tate cast?
This is the first Tate cast.
Wow.
Tater
the
tot.
Honored to be part of it. And welcome, Tony,
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
also from Texas.
It's a beautiful thing.
What part?
Dallas.
Oh, same.
Oh, yeah?
Wow.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Small world.
Like neighbors.
Yeah.
Also, we got Libby hanging out.
Legendary Libby.
I'm Libby Emmons. I'm filling in for Phil, which is always exciting for me. So this is great. I'm on Team Give Tate a Chance as well.
There you go.
I'm with the Post Millennial and Human Events, and let's get into it.
Let's do it. Well, let's get to this first story from the New York Times. Trump demands census excluding undocumented immigrants amid redistricting fight. President Trump said Thursday that he had ordered the Commerce Department to begin work on a new census that excludes undocumented immigrants, as he and his allies press Republican-led states to redraw their congressional maps to benefit the party. A new census would be a significant departure from a process stipulated by the Constitution to occur every 10 years. Historically, the census has counted all U.S. residents regardless of their immigration status, a process that helps determine both the allotment of congressional seats and billions of dollars in federal money sent to states. Quote, people who are in our country illegally, in all caps, will not be counted in the census, quote, end quote, Mr. Trump wrote in a post on social media. Guys, do you think we're going to get redistricting?
You mean mid-decade
Mid-decade districting? Do you think this is going to work out how we think it is?
Well, it's all the states have their own rules about it, right? As we're seeing with Texas that can call a special session and try and get down to it. California and New York both have independent commissions that are responsible to do redistricting, and they're supposed to do it in accordance with the census, which is every 10 years. Gavin Newsom has threatened to try and undertake redistricting with a ballot measure. Kathy Hochul has done something similar. You also had Maura Healey in Massachusetts threatening to do redistricting to further marginalize the entirely marginalized conservative voices in Massachusetts, because of all 9 congressmen from Massachusetts, not a single one is a Republican. There are no Republican districts. There's pretty much no Republican districts, I think, except a couple in Maine, maybe, in the entirety of New England. I like this idea of getting a census that counts Americans. I'd like to know how many of us there are. Yep. I think that would be really great. And it would be cool to see what the breakdown is. You know, I imagine it would be, mostly white and black and probably a little Hispanic as well in terms of like what the majority citizenry is.
Well, I got an opposite.
That would be pretty interesting to hear.
I got an opposite take on this. I don't think illegals were ever filling out the census to begin with. I think like I agree. I do want to see the census. I want to see the census more from the fact of what the actual COVID numbers were, because like some people were saying, million deaths.
COVID numbers. Oh, and
some people, people on the left are saying more people are dying from COVID. People on the right saying less people are dying from COVID. So I'm more interested in that. But I don't think illegal immigrants ever took the census.
Well, no, there was a huge push in 2020, and I think under Obama, for illegal immigrants, to fill out the census.
Right.
They're
they
not
were even
stupid.
providing
It was a
them
huge
in Spanish.
deal. Yeah,
like they were actively asking immigrants and Hispanics to fill this thing out.
And it specifically didn't have the citizenship question.
Right. I made a big deal about
Understood,
that, too.
but you have to understand these people are here illegally. They don't trust police at all. You know what I mean? Like, I understand what you're saying on Barack Obama. Oh, I'm cool. I play basketball or whatever. Just because, they're not going to trust him. You know what I mean?
The form just goes to your
put
house,
your name down
and then you just send it in.
Yeah, they came door to door.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Texas.
Yeah, they were going door to door.
Just don't answer your
Knocked on my
door.
But that's not, I'm sure some illegal immigrants did not take the census,
Right.
but I bet a bunch of them did.
It's going to be interesting to find out.
And in terms of Texas, I'm super interested about redistricting, what that would look like, because didn't Texas get like 1.3 million more people or something since 2020?
And, it's going to be a big deal. We're supposed to pick up, I think it's like 5 more seats.
Well, that's
5
the idea.
Republican seats off
Do you
of
think
this.
it's going to work, or do you think it's going to backfire?
You mean the redistricting?
Yeah.
They're going to get it.
Yeah.
This is all posturing by the Democrats. Like they've done this before where they've left the state twice. They fled, right? In 2000, I think it was like 2002, they fled for redistricting then. And we still got it passed. And then in 2000, I think it was 20, the Republicans were passing laws for more strict voter restriction laws and voter identification laws. And they left claiming that was racist, of course. And we got that passed. Mm-hmm. And now they're doing it again. And we're going to get it passed. They're using it as a fundraiser. And of course, Republicans are too. But Democrats are using this as a fundraiser, a way to show that they're fighting, because this is a very big deal.
How much do you trust the data? Maybe Tate, you can answer. I don't know. How much do you actually trust the census data?
It's difficult to trust the census data. We actually have it here. This was from Aiden Buzetti. He was commentating on this today. The 2020 census significantly overcounted blue states and undercounted red states. Rhode Island and Minnesota both kept a seat they shouldn't have, or they should have lost. Colorado got a new seat they shouldn't have at all. Florida lost out on 2 seats, Texas on 1. You can see here, I mean, among overcounts, they're saying Hawaii, Utah, Minnesota, Ohio, Delaware, New York, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Obviously, Ohio and Utah are the only red states there. And then as far as undercounts go, we had Texas, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, Florida, and Illinois. Illinois being the only blue state. So if you look at overcounts and undercounts, this obviously favored Democrats quite heavily.
Yeah, I think it often favors Democratic states heavily, and I think Democratic states are also the ones where you have the most illegal immigrants, right? California, New York, Illinois. You can throw in Texas and Florida for like the odd ones out, but
yeah, I mean, I just don't even trust the government to run the government. I mean, they're always running out of
well,
money.
sure. If you're going to be blackpilling, that's the kind of thing you're going to have.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't trust them to do anything, like construction, running companies, like literally anything. They don't do anything.
They're not supposed to run any companies.
So, like, I guess maybe, Libby, since you're the smartest of us, how does the census data actually work? Is it like the old school rating system where it's like they sample like a small sample and like expound it? Or...
No, it's literally they try and count every single person with a form. Okay. So they go, like Carter was saying, they go door to door. They go to every house.
If you're not home, they'll come back.
Right. And also, like, if you don't fill out your census by mail, they'll come find you. And they try and count every single person. One thing that's been really interesting about the census is how they keep changing the questions, right? So citizenship used to be on the census, and now it's not. I think that's right, Tony. And then you also have a situation where they used to ask race differently, right? Like, I don't remember what those questions were, but I know race used to be asked in different forms.
Like race or ethnicity.
Race or ethnicity.
Way they phrased it was
yeah.
very, yeah.
And so now it's like, I think you can fill out Asian American Pacific Islander, which I don't know how all of those things are the same. That seems very weird.
Well, they do it now where it's these broad categories, and then you can identify yourself with the sub. So, like, you could do Asian Pacific Islander, but then you can say I'm Laotian. But a lot of people don't bother with the second part, and so it ends up.
But they don't have, like, I remember filling out the census in 2020, and there was white and non-Hispanic white.
Right.
Yeah. Like when I buy a firearm in Texas, I have to fill out a form each time, and I have no choice but to fill out white. And I was joking with the guy. I was
like, you have to fill out your race
white?
To buy a firearm?
Yeah, you do a background check. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, Democrats think you can just walk in and just grab a firearm. It's not that easy.
But plus, like, why does the government need to know the race of the people buying weapons?
Well, I assume it's for like when you commit a crime, right? And that's what I was talking about with the guy at the shop. Okay. I was like, so I'm filling this out and I have to fill out white in this portion. And this portion just says white. And I said, so if I were to commit a crime with this, would it be labeled as a white crime? And he's like, yeah. And I'm very clearly brown, right? Like, and it was just very odd.
They even, like, if you're like Egyptian, you identify white. Like most Arab and Middle Eastern and North African also identify as
like a lot
white.
Of Cubans identify as white also.
That's the whole idea of Hispanic as a categorization is just totally redundant, because it's like Lionel Messi is 100% Italian, but he classifies as Latino. If his parents moved to, or if his grandparents moved to New Jersey, he would be white. So
that's
it's like,
the
what's
funny
going
thing.
on?
Like,
they should have
Spaniards come here. It's like, no, now you're Mexican.
They should have did Latino or Latinx, and then we'd see which one you know what I mean, which one actually people prefer. Right. And I don't think it's Latinx. I mean, Tony knows.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
You
Latinx
talk to most
either.
Hispanics, they don't buy.
They don't even know what it is.
They actually. It's funny. The left created like colonization of the language.
Yeah.
So you kind of like flip that on them. It's like, oh, you're colonizing.
Yeah.
The Spanish language.
Oh, that's fascinating. It's like it is appropriation. It is colonialist to remake the language to get rid of the feminine or masculine.
Yeah, and it's all these white liberals pushing it
every time.
It's just so crazy.
Every time. Latinx. So what do you think, Tate? What's the chat saying about the census? Do they trust the government?
Well, I don't think it's. I mean, you think you have to trust the government in this situation. What are you gonna do? Not have a census?
I think we do need a census, and I think that there should be a citizenship question, and I think we need to know how many Americans there are. And then I think that House of Representatives apportionment should be based on the number of citizens and not just the number of people.
Right. Well, you had the. You had in 2019 when Trump tried to do this the first time, as the Supreme Court said, no, this is not a matter of law. We're not resolving a constitutional quagmire. This is politically motivated. This go around, since hypothetically Trump has 5 years to get this done, he can take his time here. They can actually put together a really good case to circumvent any court intervention.
Democrats don't want this, right? There was this account, Refined Populist, on Twitter, and they were saying that if they do this and they properly measure for the seats, that Democrats, it could cost Democrats 42 seats. All right, and so this is brutal for them if they lose this.
The last time citizenship was on the census was 1950.
Wow. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of calls BS a little bit on our technology, because don't you think at this point we should be beyond the fact of somebody having to knock on a door to
No,
get
I
a count?
think
How do we
paper
not
is
have
the best way to do a count. I
feel like
think
if they
all
don't
our
have
ballots
satellites,
should be paper
They
too.
already know the number that you're supposed to give them. They just want to see if you got it.
Okay.
Well, that's
Okay.
like with the taxes.
That's
When
a
you
hot
file
take.
your taxes
Right.
and you get it wrong.
Exactly. They're like,
And they're
no,
like,
we
we
know
know
you
how
did."
much
Yeah,
you owe.
Exactly.
Yeah, but what about like the satellites orbiting Earth that can literally just look right into homes? We don't have that tech. I thought we had that tech.
I think that paper is a good way to do it, and I think all our voting should be on paper and properly tallied by counting papers.
Okay.
Yeah.
We saw how that happened with the 2020 election.
No,
you know,
they didn't
so-
do
didn't use
that.
paper,
That was mail-in balloting. It was very easily.
Oh yeah, the mail-in, but okay, it's still
because-
paper-based though.
Well, Nancy Pelosi came out in April or May of that year of 2020 and was like, we're going to have to do all mail-in ballots to protect us from COVID. And I remember.
That was Nancy Mace?
No, Nancy Pelosi.
Pelosi.
Did I
Sorry,
say
I
Nancy
thought
Mace?
It wasn't just,
maybe
it was
I don't-
all of them.
You're
It was
Nancy.
all the
Mess. My
Democrats.
ear is a mess, so
Yeah,
I
all the
should hardly hear
in
anything.
person in 2020. That's wild.
Yeah.
What?
I still voted in person in 2020.
I hadn't voted in person too, and there was nobody there.
Well, that was kind of like the Republicans shot themselves in the foot for a while, because they were like, only vote in person and only vote in election day. That's how we stick it to them.
Oh, it's such a bad idea.
And they would just knock out one election. The cost us 10,000 votes.
The worst thing they push is that everybody should vote on election day. Like, you should early vote.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I would challenge you on that, Tate, a little bit and say, how do you know? How do you know that was a bad strategy? Because are you of the opinion that maybe the counts were maybe messed with?
Well, I mean, we had
That out of our control?
multiple underwhelming midterm results, and I mean, I guess you could attribute it to some nefarious.
Well, also,
The
in
midterm
Houston,
wizards. No, go ahead.
sorry, in Houston, they had an issue in Texas where they ran out of ballots, and some
yeah.
places shut down on voting day. So you
Arizona,
actually had
too.
a lot
Machines
of
broken.
a lot of Republicans that allegedly didn't get a chance to vote because they all stupidly waited until voting day. If you have 5 days
Yeah,
of
something
early
like-
voting,
yeah,
there's plenty of time to early vote. And I think even in Texas, a lot of businesses will give the employees off to go vote.
Oh, yeah,
they'll
totally.
give you extra time. You don't have to just go on your lunch.
Yeah, I think some places it's even like a holiday, right?
For some places.
I kind of support Twitter polls. I think
That's enough because you
I
can't
think that's
require-
just
you
as
good
good as the
require-
government.
No,
it's
that's
just as good
ridiculous.
as the government. The
It's
government
ridiculous
is so
because you
inefficient.
can't
Should be a
force
YouTube
all
poll.
Americans to
YouTube
have
poll,
a
whatever.
Twitter account unless you federalize Twitter, and that's a crap idea.
Well, Elon took everyone's ID so he knows who's American and who isn't, so we can actually take those
yeah, but that's
polls.
only the limited number of people who are on Twitter.
I'm just saying.
if Twitter,
Trust
with its-
Elon more than the government.
if
Sorry.
Twitter with
I
its hundreds
don't.
of millions of
For
users,
the voting, I do.
if they left it to only Americans with their hundreds of millions of accounts on X, there would be 10,000 Americans on there. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. It's
I don't
mostly,
trust the government.
That's what I
but I
mean.
also
So
don't
it'll be
trust
a
Elon.
5,000 yes, 5,000.
I would get all the
you
people
win.
that went to Blue Sky back on Twitter. If
Oh,
they
and-
had to get back on to vote.
Yeah, and if X had, the America Party would wash everyone out of the water. I mean, are you kidding me? It's a
I think
I don't
Mackey
think
was ahead
that's
of his
true
time.
either.
I'm just saying.
Who, Doug Mackey?
Yeah, I think he was ahead of his time.
Yeah,
I
Douglas
think there's
Mackey.
going to be a text to vote soon.
Is that what he's saying?
Well, that was.
I don't think there will be a text.
got in
I
to
hope
vote.
not.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be like American Idol and every other reality show. Eventually, it's
not.
going to be.
I certainly hope the federal government doesn't become more of a reality show than it already is.
You literally have a reality show president.
well. Let's
Of
jump.
that. That's why I said more of.
Yeah.
I'm not as good as Tim as breaking the.
Sorry,
Just,
Tate.
Gotta be
cutting it
louder.
in half.
Yes, sir.
All right. The next story, we got a big story here. This is out of Texas. Dustin Burrow, the speaker, he just sent a memo out to House reps saying that quorum-breaking members must pick up their pay in person via check. No direct deposit allowed. Guys, this is hilarious.
That would
This
bring me
is-
back to the state.
Super funny. Well, to cover that, it's only $700 a month.
Oh,
So and
really?
a lot of these reps are very independently wealthy.
Where do they get their money?
Right. So, there are a lot of them are lawyers or real estate agents and things like that. But I was talking to one of my favorite staffers and she was like, well, actually, a lot of these Democrats are broke as heck, actually. So they're living off of this $700, $600 stipend that they get every month. And
Yep.
so
Wow.
you actually, you may see some come back, but you've also got a bigger issue where you've got a lot of these lefty nonprofits that are actively funding these Democrats fleeing our state, which has been a huge issue. The Beto O'Rourke's nonprofit, was it Powered by the People? was actively soliciting Democrats to leave the state. And they were like, we'll fund you. We will give you money. We'll pay for your hotel, your lodging, your travel. And now Attorney General Ken Paxton is pursuing that and Governor Greg Abbott as like a bribery issue, right? Because that is an issue. If you're paying people to break quorum, like you're bribing them to do something, and it becomes a federal issue where it's happening across state lines because they're fleeing to Illinois, New York, and other states.
Oh my goodness, it is.
And so like this is a genuine problem for Democrats, and I don't think that they thought far enough ahead. And the whole thing, they're going to pass this redistricting, and I just don't think that Democrats really planned this out very well.
Do you think it's a good thing, this redistricting?
Absolutely. And you know, you kind of look at the current maps, they're already kind of goofy, and they're complaining about these new maps, and they're of course they're always going with the racist thing, and the racist thing is so tried out. Like nobody cares.
That's what Jasmine Crockett keeps going on
Yeah, of
about.
course, and of course she is. And then the bigger issue is that, especially Hispanic men in Texas, the Browns, like they're supporting Republicans now. Like the Democrats are losing this voting base of Hispanics. And I don't think they know how to cope with that. They're going to be left with just kind of like the blacks and the white liberals as like Hispanics start to trend more to vote Republican. And Democrats are just bored with, or I'm sorry, Hispanics are just bored with the rhetoric from Democrats and the weird stuff with the LGBTQ nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with them docking their pay. They shouldn't be getting paid if they're not doing their job. I mean, it's a huge slap in the face to everyone that has to, you know, work a job every day. And it's our money that they're stealing, essentially. So, yeah, definitely not paying them, I think, makes sense. But like you say, it's not a lot of money to them. And they're getting more money hiding out in Illinois from the governor and all the whatever else, wherever they're hanging in the hotels and 5-star stuff and the 5-star treatment. So like, I don't think it does much, but it's, you know, it's something to get them back. Arresting them, I don't like it either, because they want to get arrested. You know, we were talking about that.
That would be
Want to be a martyr.
They want
Yeah.
that.
would be
They're like,
great
oh my
TikTok
God, I've gone
content.
viral. It's my 5 minutes of fame or whatever. And it's like, no, like, so like, what is the solution?
Plus, then you get more Gavin Newsom, you get more J.B. Pritzker, you get more Maura Healey.
The solution is removing them from their seat. It's like, okay,
Isn't that what Ken
Can you do
Paxton was
that
threatening?
legally?
Yes.
I thought they needed 100 in Texas.
Well, we had this story from the Texas Tribune. Paxton asks Illinois courts to enforce Texas arrest warrants against Democrats who left the state. Obviously, this kind of seems like a bit of a long shot to try and get Illinois to enforce this. Maybe some sort of federal mechanism that could be used. I don't know. But I don't know. I think this could backfire to some degree on Republicans, because there'd be nothing greater than being prosecuted by Trump and be part of the resistance and that sort of thing.
So like what? And they need 100 to do business, right? Because we had Briscoe on the show.
well,
morning
if you
show.
vacate a seat, I think it removes that quorum requirement.
Okay.
So like it's
Oh,
not.
interesting.
Yes, exactly. So I believe so. I could be wrong, and maybe
Briscoe
somebody
said
in the
we had
chat.
Briscoe on, and he said you need 100 to do business.
Yeah, you
But
do.
you
But I
might
believe
not,
if the
like,
seat gets
depending
vacant,
on-
or if they remove them from the seat. And again, I could be wrong. I believe it doesn't go toward.
Maybe the
doesn't
chat.
count towards the. Yeah, maybe somebody can Patriot fact check.
That's true in the House.
Patriot
when they do
check.
that.
Patriot check. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so-
we'll see. But to what you're saying, like you're right. It's an absolute amazing fundraising opportunity. Like you went, if you're a Democrat, I went to jail for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and like they'll be in jail for like what, a week at most.
Yeah,
Like,
at
it won't be
most,
anything.
if even a
if
night.
that even happens, right? Like
Right.
absolutely. So they want to be jailed.
And then they'll sue.
yeah, and then they'll sue and they'll
They'll want a
fundraise off
mugshot.
that. And,
So what is
yeah.
the solution then, Libby?
What is the solution?
The rest isn't going to work, and docking their pay isn't going to work. What do we do?
I think docking their pay probably might work. I think that will probably get people back.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, I think also people have responsibilities at home. They can't just stay away forever.
Yeah, they're Democrats. They don't have a family.
I think it was
might.
Senator Mays Middleton in Texas, and actually Briscoe Cain in the House that introduced bills that if you have, I think it was 7 or 10 consecutive unexcused absences, that you automatically vacate your seat.
Can you imagine
I think
how
that's
many? How
pretty
many is
good.
that again?
I think it was like 7 or 10.
Like most jobs, it's 2 or 3.
right.
That's
And you're
pretty
out.
funny. Yeah, there's definitely been like over COVID and stuff, people refusing to come in. There was a city council person in Worcester, Massachusetts, who was like, I was discriminated against because I'm not binary. I can't come to work anymore.
Yeah.
And somehow she still kept her position for a very long time.
Oh, I have
Ridiculous.
nothing but disdain for government workers.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to get into it on this show, maybe in the after show, but I got big problems.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
go
the
to
people who
DMV,
actually
yeah.
are government servants, I think that's important.
Servant? I wouldn't
that's-
use that word.
That's their
Post
job.
office. I had to
I
go to
would
the
say
post
huge,
office recently.
huge, someone that does nothing. Like,
Well, the government is there to serve us, and we have to remember
You want
that.
to be dehumanized? You go to the DMV. Oh my god!
And even they're like a example of like a good government employee because at least they have to.
During
show up
COVID, you
and
could
do
at least
their
make an
job.
appointment, and they were like really strict about being on time. But yeah, other than
But
that,
at least they're there in the office. Most government employees aren't even in the office.
I went to the post office recently, and like nobody speaks English. There's
Yeah.
like one person at the desk.
Right.
There's 20 people in line. Everybody looks like they want to kill themselves.
Oh,
Like, it was
yeah.
horrible.
It has to be racially diverse by the government standards and local government. If you don't have a certain amount of percentage under the Democrats, you didn't get
Is
funding.
that why it's
Well,
like that in post office?
No, they got rid of that. Trump just got
No,
rid of that.
under the
And now you
Democrats.
can-
Yeah,
you
now
can
it's gone. Thank you.
Bring
Yeah,
back
yeah.
tests of meritocracy to
But like
determine who
to
gets
pitch anything
jobs.
to any local government to get any kind, work with them in any capacity.
yeah.
It's like you had to be like 40% women, 30%
Well, it
black,
depends.
and you had to
it
show
certainly
it.
depends on the locality. Certainly
Yeah.
depends on that, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if it's a contract or something.
But even
you know?
in Democrat cities and regions, it's still that way.
Yeah,
I
in
think, you know-
Dallas we had a thing where like you get access to earlier bids, like early access to bids for government projects if you are a minority based business.
Yep.
Well,
And so
yeah.
I've met business owners that like I knew this business owner that his wife was black and obviously female, and he worked for he owned a tech company. She knew nothing about technology, but he literally just put it in her name so, that he could say
it could be the
female
MWB.
women owned black
Yeah.
Correct.
business. So you can get all
intersectional
these,
maxing.
yeah.
That's a huge thing. Like in New York too, with contracts for any city work, you have to submit for like an architectural construction engineering project. You have to meet all of these quotas, and there's a lot of projects that are you can only submit for if you are a certified minority or women-owned business.
You know what I'm curious about though? It's
Anti-American.
like Texas is now starting to trend. I think Hispanics are the majority
Yes.
in Texas. So like if you're a white, do you qualify now as for minority
that's
benefits?
what-
You know
That
what
would
they
be
did in New
awesome. That would
York?
be funny.
They cut Asians. They said Asians are not minorities for these purposes because the engineering, construction,
Harvard,
the
right?
engineering and architecture
That's like
fields
Harvard.
are already too full of Asians. So if you're Asian, you're not a minority.
Yeah, well,
Weren't
it's
the
like if you-
schools labeling Asians as white?
Yeah.
That's-
Wasn't Harvard doing that?
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
like if you live in Hawaii and it's like 15% white, and then you're just getting discriminated against. Dude,
Anytime I meet
South
someone
Africa.
that's from Harvard, I'll be like, so you hate Asians? Like,
Yeah. And
'cause
Jews.
They
Also
really,
hate Jews.
oh, the Jews. No, the Asians are like
And
way
also-
out. They like,
Yeah, they
kick
need
them
to
out.
start screwing up a few of the math problems so they can like get back in the minority.
Exactly. Like pretend like you're stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. So
2
maybe.
+ 2 is 5.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Adopt
on
the woke
That's
stuff.
on them. That's you can't. You learn this when you work retail. Is you got to be just right above average, but not like good at your job.
No.
You just got to be like right in that sweet spot.
Right.
They're learning the hard way. You can't go too hard in the paint. Right.
And
off
now
the
we
rip.
know what kind of employee Tate is. So
Well, yeah, that might have been a mask off moment. But we got another story here from the Post Millennial. DC police commander placed on leave over deliberately falsifying crime data. As attention has turned to Washington, D.C. and crime in the district in the wake of a former Doge employee being attacked, it has been revealed that a commander with the Metropolitan Police Department was placed on paid administrative leave in mid-May after being accused of falsifying crime data. Commander Michael Pulliam?
I think it's Pulliam. But
Pulliam?
if you scroll down, look at what the police union head said about this guy. Wait.
Libby wrote it. So she,
No, I didn't. Hannah wrote it. There it is. When our members respond to the scene of a felony offense where there is a victim, no, scroll back up.
Where is that?
Where there is a victim
Oh.
reporting that a felony occurred, inevitably there will be a lieutenant or a captain that will show up on that scene and direct those members to take a report for a lesser offense. So instead of taking a report for a shooting or a stabbing or a carjacking, they will order that officer to take a report for a theft or an injured person to the hospital or a felony assault, which is not the same type of classification. So what they're saying is when there's a crime, captain will show up when the police are doing their job and be like, you know what, this wasn't a carjacking. This was just pushing somebody down.
So what's the motivation for that?
The motivation for that would be
Stats.
to have decrease
Stats.
in criminal stats.
and then you get more money.
Then it doesn't look like your city's that bad.
Oh, so now like, the
Exactly.
Democrats are doing
Cooking
a
the
great job.
books.
Like this
Yeah.
Democrat city is
Cooking the
improving on-
books.
Oh.
Cook in the books to make it look like the crime isn't as bad. And I
state
was
was this, or
talking
what's
to this is
halfway to
DC.
Sweden?
Okay.
This is DC. And I was talking to post-millennial staffers, Hannah Nightingale, who wrote this story, who used to live in DC. And she was telling me that she's seen crazy stuff at the Navy Yard with just like gangs of teenagers going around harassing people and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Which DC is, DC is a mess anyway, and it has very poor leadership, and that's why Trump is trying to federalize it. But I thought that was absolutely crazy that this is what officers would do. A captain, a lieutenant.
Well, I mean, we've all known dirty cops. I mean, I
don't
have my
know
own
any
opinion.
cops.
I know. I've known a lot of police officers.
zero
I've grown up with them.
This is like a different kind of dirty, because usually dirty cop.
It goes the
assholes,
other
like,
way.
they beat the crap out of
and
you
then
nothing
plant
happens.
something on you.
This is like they're
And
not
then
beating.
they get paid off by the mob or something.
This is
kind of funny. Yeah.
This is
This
a
is
lack of
different.
beating. This is like not enough beating the crap out.
Yeah,
of you.
when we were growing up in Chicago, they'd plant stuff on you so they can write you a ticket.
Right,
Now
it's
they're like,
we could use a little planning actually in this situation.
I'm curious, like, is he getting paid to do this? Because why would you put your job at risk? Like, what is he getting in return for
Got to be coming
falsifying?
from higher up, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's getting something in exchange
for sure.
to
It must be the
falsify data.
culture of the Metro
You're not
PD.
just doing it because
Well,
you like Democrats.
but
You're
it's
doing
like-
it for
It
money
must
or
be the
something.
culture of the Metro PD.
but it's like
That's
a
what I think.
school. If you're the teachers in a school, right? So the police officers are the teachers. You want it to look like the kids are doing good for the school. So
Yeah.
if they're all lying together, then it's like,
Like
oh,
the
we're
teachers giving the testing.
Our test scores are
exactly
Right.
great.
Exactly.
It's like
So it's
giving
all
the
it's the
test
brotherhood
answers.
working together. Be like, oh, this city's totally safe. Tourism should, like,
Come to DC.
come to DC,
And maybe
then big
maybe
balls.
you get better. Maybe you get better raises if it turns out that the crime hasn't been that bad.
Exactly. And the
been
mayor
taken care of.
rewards
Well,
your
state
department.
gets better. You can
and
sell your houses for more because the
Right?
area's nice.
I mean, it's not a state, but yeah.
Well, that's
Property values go up.
Yeah.
You're right. True.
Because I mean, that's been the proposal. Obviously, this is older news now, but Trump going in and federalizing the district. And Scott Greer was on last night. We were talking about it, and he was like, "Well, it's not even if they want it; it's to help the DC residents." And I'm like, I don't even really care about the DC residents. I care about the 10,000 or so patriots that are working in the city. They should be able to go to and fro from patriot institutions free of any trouble. Like seeing big balls go down like that really hurt. But yeah, we got a good point on this article. As of Thursday, DC police statistics said that violent crime is down 26% from the same period in 2024, and all crime is down 7%. Again, as we say, that's cap. That's absolutely cap.
Well, we were watching Fox News before the show, and they did a segment on races and violence, which is kind of wild to see on the Will Cain show. But it was like they're breaking down crimes by race over the last 6 years or whatever, and it showed like in 2024, like black crime actually went down and white crime went up. It was DC, right? The stats that they were showing.
Yep.
So it was interesting. So like I don't know if that ties into what we're talking about here, but I thought because I saw that graphic, I was like, oh, it's interesting. So like it was like white crime was low, and then 2024 it jumps, and then black crime was high, and then 2024 it drops.
You think that's accurate?
I don't know. Like we're looking at this story right here.
So that would imply that the police are falsifying racial crime data.
Well,
Well, I think that's possible too.
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Well,
other
they're
thing too
falsifying
in
all of
DC
it.
is
apparently.
50% of DC carjacking arrests were of minors who were
Oh, well,
were
right.
as young as 12 years old.
That's in Milwaukee.
56% of carjackings.
Yep. Well, that's Milwaukee too. So, like in Milwaukee, they actually started this thing with I don't know if you guys heard of the Kia cars.
Boys.
Yeah, the Kia Boys. You've heard of the
Yeah.
Kia Boys. So, for those in the audience that don't know, it's a bunch of teenagers that figured out how to jailbreak Kias by literally just removing the steering column and putting in a USB cord and turning it like a key. But they figured this out in Milwaukee, and now it's like traveled to different cities to the point where like you can't get a car insured, Kia car insured in Milwaukee. It was that
You
bad.
can't get it insured.
at all.
It wasn't
Like
just Kia, it was Hyundai.
it was Kia and Hyundai because they're the same.
It was all the Korean manufacturers. I
Yeah.
think they faced a big lawsuit
Right.
because of that.
But and one of the guys, I'm forgetting the guy's name, is Mike. I forget what the YouTuber's name was, but he went out and he interviewed the Kia boys, and they were all 17 and under, and they said the reason we do it is because it's fun or whatever, and they're crazy. And also, they only get a misdemeanor.
yeah, and I think if they're
They
underage,
walk out of jail the same day.
it gets sealed. Like nobody, if they're applying for a job, you can't see it.
So
Because
as
they
long
have
as they're
to-
17 and under. So like, Tim talks about this too. It's come up on the show a lot, but adults will train kids to do these crimes for them in order to, like
Yeah, just like
take advantage of
Oliver,
them.
just like Fagin.
Yeah, that's why you
And
got to go after the
Higgins,
parents
yeah.
with these people. So like these kids, these criminal kids, like, oh yeah, harsher punishment's great. We need to go after the parents. The
Do you
parents
think
should be
that-
in jail.
Do you think that parents should be prosecuted for their
Yes,
children's crimes?
absolutely.
Yes.
We saw that with Ethan Crumbley's parents in Michigan, the school shooter. Both his parents
really
went to
tough.
prison for that.
They need to dock
100%
parents' pay.
parents in jail, unless the parents have like taken the act of like, what is it called when you separate the kid? What is that called?
Emancipation.
Emancipation. If they're emancipated, fine. If the kid's like a devil child, Damien or whatever, fine. But like otherwise, parents jail like immediately. Like get them.
What if you can't find any link between? What if it was like parents?
Doesn't matter.
And they've been doing a good job.
Doesn't matter. It's your responsibility. It's just like in the school. It's like you hear this with the police. You hear it in schools. Oh, these kids are bad. Why are they bad? It's the parents. It's not society.
I think there are also people who like do bad things.
Of course.
And like no matter how good the parents is,
Doesn't matter.
Parents are
Once they're under
show
18.
up, like and they'll kill their parents. Like
Well,
we
then
saw this
I
kid
mean, there's
in
places
Florida.
you can put your kids if they're killing people. You know what I
Well-
mean? Like it's up to you to take. Like if they're
They're
like,
also in jail though, because after they would have already done it. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you can put them in military
how do you
school.
solve that? Yeah.
Right.
You can put them in military school. You can put them in ROTC. You can like there's things you can do.
They should remove the government
think
benefits
you have a
from
weird
families
view of
that are
parenting.
whose kids are like committing these crimes. If they're exceptionally violent, like you don't
Right.
qualify for SNAP anymore, or you get a deduction in that.
Something like that. I
Yeah.
love it.
Like,
Punish.
if you're not going to
parents.
put them in jail, you just hit them, their pocketbook.
Yes. Punish them. Take even more of the Kool-Aid or whatever the hell they're buying away from the EBT card or whatever. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what Will Cain was suggesting earlier when we were watching Fox. Because it's like the thing that you can't dance around, and everyone wants to dance around, is there is, unfortunately, there's a racial element to this. I mean, that's what you see over
I'm
and
not
over.
even talking about the race. I'm just talking about like poor
You
kids.
said Kool-Aid.
Well, okay. What are you gonna say? Only one race drinks Kool-Aid? I love Kool-Aid.
I love Kool-Aid too,
Jim
but
Jones was a white guy, and he poisoned his whole
With
Thing
Kool-Aid.
came from.
Kool-Aid.
But it's bizarre. Like me and Alad, we were in DC like 2 weeks ago, and we were walking around, and there was like a group of like 30, 35 black teens just wandering around the city, and there'd be like 4 or 5 cops just trailing them at all times. And like, if there were a group of like 30 to 35 white kids running around DC, like knocking
militia.
stuff over and beating cars, it'd be like
Jan 6.
start camps up. Yeah, like J6. Like it'd be insane. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but yeah, there absolutely is like a cultural element to these stories as well. These beatings that they seem to only be tolerated in certain groups.
I think a lot of it is it's just like the woke. The woke always try and put it on racial lines. But I don't think it's. I think part of it's racial lines, but I think the bigger part of it is economic lines. I think
That's a very, very liberal argument.
I'm a '90s Democrat.
Well, if you
I'm
look
a
at
90s liberal.
the statistics, the highest tax bracket of Black Americans is a higher crime rate than the lowest tax bracket of white
Fair.
Americans.
All I'm saying is like kids that are in really. I was one of them. I was
only
homeless.
jailed. You were homeless.
I was homeless twice when I was a kid. Like we really grew up on the tough side of Chicago. You know, like.
Oh, you're from Chicago?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, exactly.
Lower East
So-
Side.
Yeah, I was on the south side and then eventually on the north side, which was nice. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like when you don't have any options, you don't have any opportunities. Like you really like everyone always it's like, oh, abortions. But it's like when these kids are in these like horrible situations, like they really don't have options, and then they turn to like selling drugs and like stealing cars.
Well, it is interesting because the only parents that have been prosecuted for their children's crimes have been white parents.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
They do it in some high schools where it's like if your kid's truant, you go to jail.
Right. I've seen that before. That's like, what is that? Like the restorative justice
It
stuff?
works.
Yeah.
It works.
If
I
their
almost
goal
got-
is to like
yeah.
make money from going after the parents and get fees and get funds, that's what they do. I've seen it like countless times in LA where they won't go and arrest somebody that's clearly doing something illegal because they know that this guy can't pay for anything. They're not
Right.
going to be able to provide any fees, and then they just think, why would they even waste their time? They don't. They look at it as like, oh, this is paperwork that's going to go nowhere, and it's going to be something chasing tail for no reason. So
I knew a lot of people, especially in Chicago, their winter plan was literally committing a crime because they got to go to jail and get three what do they call it, like
three hots in a cot. I've
three
seen it in
three
LA
hots
so
in a
many
cot.
times.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's because there's been just this massive warping of what the purpose of prison is, because I think most people, right and left, view prison as a form of rehabilitation or perhaps even a form of like removing them from the situation. But the point of prison is incapacitation. Like you're trying to incapacitate a criminal from committing a crime because unfortunately criminal behavior is very easy to predict and like the reoffense rate is very high. The actual ability for prisons to rehabilitate is very minimal, like I said, because criminals do repeat criminal behaviors. There's a certain disposition of someone that's a criminal. So trying to seek rehabilitation is kind of pointless. Like I said, the view is to incapacitate the criminal before they harm more
To
people.
remove from public society or polite society almost.
Right, and it's like I said earlier. It's like they have
Civilized
this.
society.
We have this like bizarre thing that happens in court where they'll plead insanity, and that like reduces their sentence. And it's like, if you're insane, that's the best reason to go to jail. It's like, I'm so insane that I can't possibly function in society. It's like that's actually the best reason to remove someone. But instead, because we have this false view of prison that it's like a form of rehabilitation, we're just going to keep doing this dance around and around again, where we can't actually clean our cities up.
We've also gone way too far to the rehabilitation side, and we have dispensed in a lot of cases with punishing criminals because we just look at how do we help the criminals instead of how do we prevent more victims of these criminals. And a lot of the people who go to prison, like, they've been doing this stuff for a long time. There are multiple crimes, multiple victims. And it doesn't make any sense to continue to try and, like, remember the 3 strikes and you're out thing? Wasn't that a Bill Clinton thing? It was like, if you get 3 convictions, then you're just in jail. There's no more hope for you. Yeah. And I think that at a certain point, there probably is not a lot of hope for you. If you're not going to turn it around, nobody can turn it around for you.
I'll defend people that get caught in the system. Like, listen, it's everyone's choices and they make decisions. But sometimes when you do get caught in the system, it is hard to get out because the expectations and the things they put these people through is really hard. Like,
sure, but you don't need to keep violently assaulting.
I understand.
people.
I'm just saying it is hard to get out of the system sometimes when you're in it. I've seen it. But
It's not hard to not kill people, though.
No, of course not. But I guess my point is, it's more. It goes back to, like, people bring up, oh, let's bring back the insane asylums. I don't like that either because it's our tax money going to
but like
insane asylums.
nowadays it's easier not to fall into that. Like, there's so many lefty nonprofits and organizations that are willing to reward people who do bad things. And like, we reported on a story recently, there's this woman who's a DACA recipient and she's been charged with all sorts of drug offenses and all that, and she raised $60,000. No, she was going to get deported. She raised $60,000.
Oh, that's great.
Like, there's plenty of organizations that reward bad behavior. So I think, to your point, maybe back in the day it was harder to get out of the system, but now, like, you commit a crime, there's so much opportunity for you to succeed or to change your life around.
Yeah, that's fair. It has definitely improved since, the 90s, absolutely.
The insane people we have now are so much different than the 90s, too. Like, the 90s, it's like you're going down the street and, like, there's a bum, you could flip him a nickel, he'd do, like, a little dance for you, maybe clean your window. You go by now, and there's a 50% chance he's going to stab you.
But also, that's because in the 90s, the people who were going to stab you were in mental hospitals.
They're in mental hospitals. And it's like, so this complete, like, breakdown where we feel so guilty about, like, incapacitating people. It's like, well, okay, it's either that or your cities look like they do now. There's no in between. You're not just going to, like, give a homeless person keys to an apartment and they're just going to figure it out.
What about this? I have an idea for the homeless people. Are you ready? This might be a little spicy. The spicy take. Are you ready? When we get rid of the illegals, right, we're going to need people working on the farms. Put the homeless people on the farms. And here's the kicker. Don't pay them.
They wouldn't do it.
Provide them, like, shelter.
That's a spicy take. No. You give them food,
people.
you give them shelter, you give them a purpose.
Slavery.
Yeah, slave class.
Well, what are they? They're on the streets.
That doesn't mean you
Some of them
enslave
wanna
them,
be on the
Sean.
It's not no. When you go and do a job that you're proud of, you're not being a slave.
You
we
pay
can pay them. Sure, that part's a joke.
You pay them.
But that part's the joke. But obviously, like, they need jobs. Get them on the. Why are they not on the farm?
The problem is, I think they don't want them. They don't want the jobs. Like, you meet a homeless person and you offer them, like, food. Like, a lot, they just want cash because they want drugs.
They've thrown food down that I've given them.
Yeah.
I've given them food, like a whole meal, and people will just take it and throw it on the ground.
Yeah, also, people don't want to be saved.
And if you speak to a lot of people that like operate or work in homeless shelters, they'll say there's actually spare beds, but you have to get clean to sleep in this bed. And these guys, you can actually speak to a lot of them. They're still pretty lucid, and they're like, I'm not ready to get clean yet.
Yeah, they don't want to work. Like, I see so many homeless in Dallas that they're, like, asking for money, but you drive across businesses and they're all hiring. They're looking for people to work, like, desperate for staff. And you'll see, like, grown adults that are on the corner asking for money, and it's like,
one time I gave some guy like $10 and he asked for more, and I gave him 5 more. He's like, "Can I have $20?" I'm like, "Can you give me that 10 back?"
Yeah, I was in Dallas. I gave a homeless lady some cash, and then she's like, "Well, you got a 20 in there. Give me that too." And I'm like, "What the heck?"
I gave her cash, and she pulled a square reader out and asked me if I wanted to dip. I was like, "What?"
I will say there are some Christian organizations out there that do a good job with this. They work with, like, ex-felons and people that are homeless down on their luck. They do give them jobs, and a lot of their success stories, it's like, once they got that job and that purpose back, like it really motivated them. So it's like, I don't think all homeless people are like completely like gone. Like I do think some of them can.
But
be
the
saved.
average homeless person is on the street for like a day or two. It's the people you're seeing that are on the street
Fair.
consistently.
Fair.
That means that there's one of two options.
Like
There's
the
one,
whole Skid Row
yeah,
situation.
they're
Yeah,
either
Skid
good
Row,
at
right,
hiding. They're either good at hiding, or there's a reason why there's only a few of them on the street at the same time. And that means you've got a particular disposition to you. So
People
it's
on
like,
Skid want to live there. They
Yeah.
love Skid. It's LA. I literally worked there for like years. Like they love it. It's the weather's beautiful. They get everything they want. Like you're mentioning too. Like I want them to like take up the mantle of responsibility, but they're not going to. Like,
Yeah,
they'd
but there
rather-
are
they'd
some
rather go
success
spend-
stories. There are. Yeah.
Through those Christian organizations you talked about, but there's so many.
And not
like
just
Tony
Christian, but-
mentioned, there's so many of these organizations that the chances of like someone being down their luck for like longer than like 2 weeks is like extremely slim. And then most of the time it's just because they want to go get Fent for like a quarter on the. On
Oh,
the
for
block.
sure. The addicts and stuff, but even that you can overcome.
Yeah, true.
Put them on the farm.
True.
I mean, the E. coli situation is already so bad. Do we really want a bunch of junkies making
Telling you to
lettuce?
clean them up, man. They're gonna be in
This
the
lettuce is
soil.
going to get really good.
It's gonna like
sun.
yeah, exactly.
any more of
They
that
get the
cabbage?
sun, they get the vitamin D. It starts oozing out of them. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
Something's
fix
oozing
them.
out of them.
All right. Well,
Sun
on
will
that
fix
note,
it.
I think we should go to this next story here from the Daily Mail. Steve Bannon is secretly plotting a sensational run for president in 2028, and he's already knifing his likely rival. Quote, "I created him." The campaign would divide the Make America Great Again movement Bannon helped build by setting up a Herculean battle with J.D. Vance, who is all but certain to launch his own 2028 candidacy, potentially with Donald Trump's blessing. Now, my opinion on this, is Bannon likely to run? I don't know. This is the first I've heard of it. I will say, I don't think Trump's going to directly endorse a candidate because I do think Trump likes the idea of a few guys going in and battling it out by saying, I'm the most pro-Trump, I'm the most like Trump. I think that's actually the likely outcome.
I'm a hard no on Steve. Look at the physiognomy. It's horrible, man. Like
I like Steve
I don't know. I don't like him. What did Trump call him? Sloppy Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a great guy, all that, whatever. But the physiognomy is bad for me. And doesn't he have some like weird Chinese connections? I don't know. I don't follow national stuff too much. But yeah, I'm not a fan.
I
I'll take the.
I don't think Steve Bannon can win over the entirety of the American populace enough to win the nomination or the presidency. I like Steve Bannon a lot, but I don't think that he can do that. And I'm not sure, why he's doing this. I don't think he has any real intention of running. I don't think he has financial support to run. I think it must be some kind of threat. Get your stuff together or I'm going to run for president.
Maybe he'll launch a clothing brand where it's like 3 collared shirts and he sells it because he's the only person I've seen do that. It's like he's reinventing
Triple collar shirt.
Yeah, he's like reinventing like
Wasn't that like a high school thing
1600s
back in the
garb
day?
with a double ruff almost.
Yeah.
He always wore
Like
the
4
3
collars.
shirts.
Yeah.
The homeless look. It's like
Three
all
shirts.
derelict look.
Is there a photo of Steve Bannon in a suit?
No, they can't be.
That probably doesn't
Pretty
exist.
I
The
do.
Epstein files.
I do like Bannon. I'm with you, Libby. I do like him. Do I support him running for president? No. Like, again, his age, I think that'd be a problem. Also, like, he's really good in the advisor role. So, like, if J.D. Vance does run, let's say it's Vance or Tulsi or whoever it is, right? He is really good in, like, the advisor role. He's been there. He's done that. He's a good strategist.
Yeah, I
so.
think guys like Steve Bannon are they're optimal like bureaucrats. Like you do need a good fleet of bureaucrats.
I don't
Yeah,
think
you got
he's
some
really a
pictures.
bureaucrat
Or like a
at all.
backroom backstabber kind of guy.
I think he's definitely a terrific advisor. He's absolutely brilliant. I mean, he's really smart. He knows everything.
Yeah, he's
know?
got
I
a
think
good
he's-
face
Yeah,
for
he's got- I think
radio.
he looks good in a suit. Look at that.
Put him behind the
he's got some
scenes.
good-looking dude.
Not everyone needs to be out front and
I
center.
mean,
you
it
know what
has
I
to
mean?
be said that it's really hard to believe or make the case that MAGA would exist as it exists now without Steve
Oh, it
Bannon.
absolutely would
Yeah, I agree.
not.
He was 100% integral.
100% agree with
So,
that.
like, whoever it is, if it's Vance or whoever, like, I really think he'd be great in that advisor role, But not everyone needs to be out in front and center.
Well, it's it's kind of tough. It's hard to tell right now if Bannon is in that inner Trump circle. I mean, some things would suggest that, but a lot of times it seems like he's completely shut out.
I think that changes, like, regularly, too.
Yeah.
Like, Trump kind of reminds me a little bit of, like, the popular kid in high school. It's like, yeah, you'll be friends with him a couple days, and then next week you don't talk to him, and then you hear from him again. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to stay in, like, the Trump zone, because he's got so much stuff going on.
But it is interesting that Trump, like, they asked him the other day, do you view J.D. Vance as your successor? And he's like, could be
Yeah.
possibly.
He
So
doesn't-
it's like,
Well, but he also
smart.
mentioned Rubio, and I think
Yep.
that's smart too.
Tulsi, I
because
still
think, yeah, I know you love Tulsi. I think she's terrific. I think J.D. Vance probably gets the nod to run. I think he has a lot of support in the background from the from the MAGA faithful. I think he really has that. The one area that I think is a little weak for him is his very pro-tech stance, which I think unnerves a lot of people. Like when he was talking, we were just talking about farm workers. When he was talking about how to solve the farm worker crisis, he's saying, let's get in automation. Let's do that.
You don't like this?
I don't know if I like it or not, but
Okay.
I think that his answers are in many cases going to be to have a technical solution like that.
Robots.
I don't
Yeah,
hate it. I
robots.
don't.
There goes your homeless solving problem, though.
You put so like in the self-driving
Teach them to
cars,
repair the machines.
There are self-driving semi-trucks on the road right now. But the funny thing is they need a human in front of the wheel still, like with their hands like this, ready to grab
Praise
the wheel.
God, they have a human in front
Homeless
of
person. There you go. You put the,
So you
you
want
put
this, wait,
you
so
put
you want
that
the
guy
psychotic,
on the mower while
fenty-leaning,
it's driving around
crazy
doing all the
person.
You want the
agriculture.
Fenatron 3000
Yeah,
tearing up the
for
streets?
real.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
telling
thank
you, they get in the sun, man.
I
That's
think you're
gonna
just
clean
saying
them up.
stuff to be
No, but I
Clean
do
'em up.
think I actually, as someone that is like a pretty big like tech accelerationist, I like Vance a lot. I like that aspect of him, but that is very unpalatable to the populist MAGA base.
Right.
And he's going to have to form a slightly different coalition in 2028 if he wants to win the nomination. I think.
I love Vance. I do. The technology question that's a really interesting one, Libby. I do support it because I do know the population's getting smaller and smaller, and we still need a lot of food. So I'm not adverse to the machines doing mindless jobs like that, especially if it's going to get a bunch of people who don't belong here out. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, and it depends on what the tools are. My point is that that's just one instance where Vance is going to lean into tech to do the jobs. And I think that he probably, given his background, I mean, that's where he made his money, right? For the most part is in tech.
Oh, and that book.
Yeah, the book.
And
But
then
I mean,
Netflix.
he was,
He was a teal acolyte.
He's a teal guy.
Yeah.
And so I do think that, well, I think JD Vance's heart is probably in the right place. I do think he has some leanings toward a little bit of a slightly transhumanist agenda that he might want to
likes it too.
rethink.
You're seeing the robots already kind of take some jobs, like in the restaurants. I don't know if you guys seen them, like especially the Asian restaurants. The robot that brings by like the water or whatever. Like,
Yeah, I've seen
you
that
see that.
in, like,
But I was
Korean
cracking up. I was
restaurants,
talking
yeah.
to somebody on the way here, and I was like, man, I've lived long enough to have to find out what the derogatory term is for like a robot.
Oh, yeah.
Wire
What is
back.
it?
Anchor.
Clankers.
With the hard
I
R.
like it.
You got Wireback, you got Spark Donkey, Grease Cricket,
Yeah.
Clink. I'm saying
That's
with an
awesome.
L that has an L. Clink.
The racial
There's a lot of
slurs.
great ones. There's a lot of good ones out there. I think.
Definitely a vacuum.
I think we have two
I
options.
like clanker, but I like it with a Boston accent. It's a clanker.
Clanker.
We have
It's a
two
clanker.
options. Either the machines do the mindless work, or we start paying people more, Americans more, which I'm fine with either. Like, I'm fine with paying them more. But the problem is, and we all know how businesses work. If you're paying your floor level staff like $40, $50 an hour, like we see at the fast food places in California, it's really hard to make money, or you have to raise the prices for the consumer. So either we're okay spending a ton more, or we have the robots. I think those are the two options. Maybe homeless.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing with
Tin can would be good too.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Vance, if you really are hard on immigration, like if you really do want net zero immigration, you need to deport, maybe even denaturalize a lot of people, is you're going to have to embrace tech, because the reality is the share of the Native American population is shrinking as a whole. There's nothing you can really do about that because everyone's chucking money at it. It's not really making a dent. You look at Hungary, you look at South Korea, you look at
Well,
Japan.
those countries are all paying people to have children.
And it's not working. It's not even making a dent.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like if you're looking at the states and you're looking at, like, when I say Native Americans, not like American Indians, but like, people that are from America, that share, that population is declining as a whole.
Right.
The only way you're going to keep the economy propped up with a declining population, you're going to have to find technological solutions.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the Vance guys, I think they just see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, I'd much rather lean towards tech and towards like, for instance, within farming, a lot of people they say, oh, well, you can't pick certain berries without having an actual person go and pick them. It's like, well, we haven't invented
Yet.
a machine to do that yet, right? Like before, they were like, oh, it was really laborious to pick nuts from trees, and then someone was like, well, why don't I just take my tractor and turn around and put a big old thing on and shake it and vibrate, and all the nuts will fall down, and like that revolutionized that industry, and it got rid of a lot of people's jobs, but it's also not adding hundreds of thousands of people to your country every year, every other month. Like, it's an insane idea to say that we need to do that, as opposed to like advancing technology and advancing the things we already are doing. And it's like, I'm not really a fan of the bots. I don't like the bots either. But like, if they can do the job better and like more reliably, then like I know they want the homeless people there too. That'd be fun.
It's a good idea. I'm telling you, it's going to grow.
Well,
on.
the calculus is you have you bring in technology, you just you cut it all loose. You have a 10% chance of like a cyberpunk future. That's a possibility. Or the current course of action, which is flood the country with like people from the third world. You're gonna get Brazil. So it's like
I guess
it's really not working.
I'll take the slight chance
Or-
of Blade Runner over South
If
Africa.
the choice is between a clanker or an illegal, I'll take the clanker.
Taking the
Take the
clanker.
clanker.
Or the
no
third
clanker ever asked me for money. I'll say
the
that.
third option is still on the table. Pay Americans more. And that actually came up in one of the culture war
That will happen
events.
if the population declines, there's going to be labor will have an advantage.
Not
in the
necessarily,
market.
because
No, yeah, that's
corporations they don't care about people. They don't care about you. They don't care about their employees. They care about their bottom line.
Yes, but if labor has an advantage in the negotiating table, then labor will be.
Well, now you sound like a socialist.
Well,
So
if
do we
they-
want to
if they-
have
economics,
homeless
that's-
people
Yeah, if
to
they play
capitalism.
the game and they play like with the rules they're actually supposed to play by, like you can't hire illegal immigrants. Like that's a huge rule that gets completely flaunted and completely ignored. And I think we should be arresting these people. By the way, Donald, if you're watching, please arrest the people that hire illegal immigrants. They're causing like half of this.
They're working
problem.
on that. They're doing
Yeah,
that.
they are.
You know?
They are.
And
So-
H-1Bs.
That's the big issue. Like, and it's going to take time for everything to tool up.
H-1Bs
over-
too. I'm serious.
Yeah.
They're working on it.
H- listen, H-1B is corporate
workplace-
slavery.
The workplace enforcement is including arresting the business owners for hiring the illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
But do you guys think that we should have homeless people picking our crops, or are these Franken?
No, they're going to
toasters?
sit behind the machines while the machines do the work.
You interrupted
See,
me, Sean.
this is a great. I'm telling you, listen. There's already self-driving trucks on the road now, but they need someone there so in case something happens to grab the wheel.
So just
But
like
a
one
fence
homeless
zombie?
person
Like,
per
I don't know if
Franken
they're on the wheel.
toaster.
I'm telling you, when they get purpose and they're like, oh my god, I'm doing something with my life. They're going to be like, I see the.
I don't know, man.
Serge, you
I
remember
see the
Phoenix
disagree, bro. I don't-
when
I
we
don't
got in
think
that Weibo car and like somehow we put you in the wrong seat and it stopped and it was like somebody phoned in to me and was like,
yeah.
I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to kick you out of the car. You can't do that. You can't touch the steering wheel. Yeah, we try to have you sit in the front
Oh, the
seat.
Waymo.
It sucked.
Waymo.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
tell
my
Can't sit in
we
the
were
front
we
seat
were
for
in
the
I think
Waymo?
we were
End
in
up walking
Arizona.
Can't sit in
and-
the driver's seat, Carter.
Yeah, we were
That's
in Arizona.
dumb.
We called a Waymo, and my buddy Tryman got in the driver's seat, and the car just started freaking out.
Yeah, but it's like
and
an
then
extra
some
seat.
some Indian dude hops up on the line in the car and is like, "You can't do that." I got an
Yeah.
email that they were going to ban me. Yeah,
Was he
it was-
Indian
yeah, I
or
got that
American
too.
Indian?
the call center guy?
Yeah. Oh, he was Indian.
Oh, I
call
got.
center.
Yeah,
I got in the back of.
It's another thing.
Imagine
you got to
homeless.
pay Americans more to
Yeah.
do
Like
calls.
have
you
a
guys
have a
see
homeless
the-
guy call me to yell at me about the Waymo.
I got in the back of a Waymo.
Maybe.
I got in the back of a
And-
Waymo, and he started telling me how his day was going, and started ranting, and then he started crying. Apparently, his wife was leaving him.
Could be levels. Like as they do better, they get better jobs.
Did you
they
see
move
the
up.
Waymos that crashed?
No.
They crashed.
Yeah,
it
I
was in
saw that.
Phoenix, and they crashed into each other.
They got female Waymos now.
Oh my goodness gracious! They crashed into each other, and they just sat there blocking traffic.
Oh, I think I did see that. Yeah.
And they didn't know enough to go to the side of the road and
Right.
exchange
You know
insurance
what, though?
information.
Tim brings this up all the time. You
Yeah.
can like in traffic, you can trap a Waymo or a Tesla or anything that's auto driving by just cutting them off.
or put people were in.
Like
I
did
think it
the
was
two
awesome. They were
computer
putting
people
traffic
that were
cones on
controlling
them.
the
Yeah,
Waymos
stopping
pop up and talk to each other and like, yo, what happened there?
You know what though? I prefer the Waymos over Uber. I'll say it. Like I don't have to worry about the car.
I agree.
smelling,
And you know what? You
weird
don't have to tip.
music. I don't have to talk to them if I don't want to. I don't have to tip.
I don't like talking to Uber drivers.
Ugh.
I just miss cabs.
I love it. Yeah.
Ugh.
I prefer taxi cabs.
It's like
I don't like talking.
So many
to
weird connections. Of
it's
people.
like, do you want to listen to like a political consultant, or do you want to listen to like an Albanian taxi driver? I'll take the Albanian taxi driver. He
Or
knows,
Persian,
or
or
just
Persian.
any accent that's a little
Armenians.
off. It's like they're gonna lay the situation out flat. For you. It's a
Okay.
beautiful thing. Yeah.
All right.
Sick and
Next
tired.
time we're in a Uber, I'll remember that.
Yeah,
Be like
well-
Tate wants to hear your life story.
I do.
He wants to hear everything about your kids. Show him
I
pictures.
love. It's my job to get along with people. I get along.
fair.
It's a direct quote from Trump. Anyway, we got this next story. Breaking from Post Millennial. Disney, Lucasfilm settle Gina Carano lawsuit. Signal desire to work with the actress again.
She won.
She won.
this is the end of wokeness, you guys.
Yeah,
Gina
we're in
Carano
the
won.
age.
She's back. She now can get jobs. She can be unblacklisted from Hollywood. Lucasfilm and Disney have both said that they would like to work with her again. She's a terrific actress. She deserves all the greatest opportunities in the world, and I couldn't be more excited for her to, get a little piece of her career back. And I hope that she got a whole bunch of money from Lucasfilms and Disney too, because it's not right when someone takes away for your career just because you posted a meme during COVID. Right. And the other thing too about her post, she posted a meme saying basically that the Nazis were able to control people because they got their neighbors to snitch on everybody, to snitch on each other, and that's a big deal. But Pedro Pascal did not get fired when in 2018 he compared the border situation in the U.S. to the Holocaust and threw that at Trump. He didn't get fired for that. And you had Disney and Lucasfilm coming out being like, oh, this is absolutely abhorrent, which she said is unbelievable. We can't have someone like this working for us. And they literally kept Pedro Pascal on. So
there was a guy that
welcome back, Gina Carano. I hope you get the best of everything.
Patriot, Gina.
There was a guy that was literally masturbating after he got off that call with the media. What channel was it? MSNBC
What
or
are
whatever.
you even talking
I
about?
remember he was on the call.
No, I'm trying
You know
to
what I'm
think
talking
about
about?
Jeff
And
Tubin.
he didn't get fired.
You're talking about Jeff Tubin.
That guy.
Yeah, and he didn't get fired.
Does he
but
still have a job?
But
Oh, yeah.
he still has a job.
He was
Yeah,
gone.
that-
I think he was gone for like what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks. He just apologized, whatever. I mean, it's horrifying. But what I will say is, we are in the age of unapologetics, right?
Well, yeah, it's coming back. We've
yeah,
got hot blonde women advertising jeans
Right.
now. We've
Right.
got
American Eagle
jean-
did
yeah,
not apologize.
Yeah.
They were like, hey,
America's
Joe Biden
Buy the
was so
jeans.
bad at his job that he completely changed the entire political landscape of the country to go back like 20 years, which is crazy. Like, he was that bad.
Joe Biden
Thank
brought
you,
us
Joe
together.
Biden.
It's
Thank you,
almost
Joe
like
Biden,
the
the
country
Patriot.
as a whole is going back to its ex. And that's a
Joe
beautiful
Biden, the
thing.
Patriot.
going back to his ex.
The whole United States as a whole are going back to our ex.
We're going back
Well,
to
there's also-
90s.
there was
Blonde,
a-
blue-eyed woman.
There was a study that came out also. Do you remember before COVID and then during BLM and all of that, you had the New York Times and all these other outlets talking so much about race that people's fear of racism and belief that racism was a huge problem in the country skyrocketed. And a new study came out, and that number is back down to sort of normal.
Yep.
You know?
People crave authenticity. They crave people that are unapologetic. They want people that are outspoken. They're done with it. They want comedy back. You know, I haven't seen Naked Gun yet, but that was a spicy movie. They came back. I mean, you remember from our childhood. I'm hoping they did a good job with it. But I'm just saying they're trying. It's coming back.
Do you think
We're
the
back,
Democrat Party as a whole adjusts their messaging because this isn't working anymore? Like,
They're
No,
doing- they're doing
I don't think they
podcasts.
are at all.
Are
In
they-
fact, they're doing the opposite. And this is a huge problem for the Democratic Party, right? They could go in two directions right now. They have two options. One, go a little more establishment, veer center, capture that part of their base and that part of their voters, or they could veer far left and go the Zohran Mamdani, Omar Fatah, like all of these guys in this direction. And that's what they're choosing to do. You had Elizabeth Warren the other day saying that Zohran Mamdani's message is the message for the future of the Democratic Party. She was very clear on that. AOC is endorsing. You have Bernie Sanders on that side. And the people in the Democratic Party who are not endorsing Mamdani, you have Chuck Schumer, you have Hakeem Jeffries. They're not endorsing. Cory Booker, not endorsing. But they're being super quiet about it. They don't really want you to notice that they have not endorsed the socialist candidate for mayor for New York City. So they're hedging, they're skirting those questions. You had Kamala Harris recently come out, what was it, last week on Stephen Colbert, and when she was asked who the leader of the Democratic Party was, she did not say herself, and she did not name anyone. Instead, what she said was that she'd like to take her book and tour around the country, not asking for people's votes. She's trying to come out as an outsider to the political party that she should be the head of right now, but she can't say that she's the head of it. Nobody is the head of the Democratic Party right now. And so what you have is the far left taking control. They're taking charge of this party. They're veering it further toward literal crazy, everyone's going to starve communism. That's what they're advocating for. And so is the Democratic Party going to, switch up their message because they're losing? No, they're doubling down on the lunacy. They're doubling down on the socialism, the free buses, all of the rest of it.
I disagree. I do think you're right.
But look at the landscape.
No,
Sean.
I do think you're right. I do think there's a percentage of the left of the Democrats that is definitely embracing socialism and communism. But if you look at the moderates, Michelle Obama has a podcast. Gavin Newsom has a podcast. If you're looking at all the
Gavin Newsom is not a moderate.
I was going to say, he's
Neither is
synonymous
Michelle
with
Obama.
everything wrong with California.
They're both pretty
Great,
far
but
left.
Mamdani's going on with Hassan. Like, they are looking at what we're doing and the things that we've done, podcasting, things.
Sure.
They're talking about Epstein,
They're trying
for
to.
Christ's
They're
sake.
trying
Like,
to
they're talking
mirror
about-
They're trying
the
to mirror the
message hasn't
cultural
changed, though. That's
impact,
the problem.
but
I
the
understand.
messaging is still further left.
I understand, but all I'm saying is they are starting to learn from their mistakes with the
Only
how
in
they
terms
lost.
of presentation.
Exactly. And
Only
that's what
in
I'm saying.
terms of presentation.
I do
And this
think
is
they give
not,
a wink and the nod to the
this is not
communists,
Marshall
but-
McLuhan here. Like the
Right.
medium is not the message.
But to
with
say
these
that they
guys.
haven't changed anything, I think is wrong. I think they actually are learning and they're seeing what works on our
But
side.
they're
We're the
not
cool
changing
the
the
opposite.
messaging.
Yeah, it's
you
the same
had
food,
Nancy
different
Pelosi.
delivery.
Yeah, you had Nancy Pelosi out here today talking about how she wants to implement plans so that child sex changes are
That's punk
are
rock.
national.
We have
It's
that
not
video.
punk
them.
rock
No,
for
to
them.
them,
It's
that's punk
modus.
rock.
Nobody
It's
wants
modus
it.
operandi. It's status quo.
Hispanics are
All
running
right.
away from
Sorry, Tate. Well, sorry.
Hey,
Tate,
I'm
what
the
were you
host here, guys. Jeez. I'm just kidding. We got to watch the video that Libby was talking about. This is a good video. This is Nancy Pelosi. Look, she's young, and I think she's got many years of service.
How's your office responding to the pauses in gender affirming care here in California?
Well, that is something that I'm working for at the national level, and we have, how can I say, are hoping that we can have gender affirming care for our trans kids, and that it's a sad thing for us. I'm not totally. I don't know what effect we can have nationally with what we have going on in the White House and in the Congress. It's really very sad. If you were there, outside our door, we have a trans flag. Outside of our door in the office, congressional office building, we have the trans flag, as do some of our other colleagues.
So as you can see, she's very well spoken, which is a beautiful thing to see. This is kind
Especially in our elder generation.
and this is
Immaculate
kind of
presentation.
exhibit A for what Libby is saying, is they're just trying to like repackage really, really horrible ideas. And they're trying to, and she can't do it as well, but like she was saying, they're just trying to repackage it in the broadcast kind of presentation. But if you just listen to her, I mean, this is the moderate position in the Democrat Party today. And the Democrats, the situation they're in is the same situation the Republicans were in 2015, which was the base had no appetite to moderate at all. And they felt like every attempt to satiate them in any way wasn't enough. I think in 2028, the Democrats are going to send a brick through a window.
What do you mean?
I think the candidate that they're not going to tolerate a Josh Shapiro or Gretchen Whitmer. They're not going to just let someone they're not going to have that shoved down their throat. They're going to be angry. They're going to elect an equivalent to some degree of a Donald Trump as far as expressing anger, expressing discontent with the current elite of the Democrat Party.
They have absolutely no front runner. And what's interesting about that is if you look at the past several presidential elections, by this far out from an election, there was an opposition front runner.
But at this stage,
You had Al Gore.
What about 2016? The equivalent would be what, 2014? And Trump wasn't on the radar at that point yet.
No. I mean, well, Trump was on the radar by 2015 for sure.
But we're 2 years out.
But there were also already front runners, right? You
Well, yeah,
had
Jeb
Marco
Bush, Scott Walker,
Rubio, you
yeah.
had Ted cruz, you had Jeb Bush.
Bobby Jindal was like a front runner.
Sure, but like you had these people, and if you look for the Democrats, like this is a lot of runway that they have to not have anybody that they're launching. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that you're looking at perhaps Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
You're looking at perhaps
this is-
AOC. You're looking at the legit low IQ people from the Democrat Party because they're the only ones who are stupid enough to think that they have a shot.
But the difference between like a person like Jasmine Crockett or AOC versus, not saying, because obviously they're not the same at all, and Trump is Trump had the money to like create an insurgency, where in the Democrat Party they're not going to have a war chest at their
They
disposal.
have a ton of money.
Yeah, they might have money. They don't have anyone that actually believes in the success of their dreams so much that they're willing to go out and
I don't think
You
they're going to
also
have a
had
war chest
something-
like Trump had.
I think that you're mistaken about just how much money the Democrats have, and in terms of Democrats' donors and open
I just
societies.
Well,
foundations and all
USAID
of
was
this
shut
stuff.
down, so that actually
USAID was shut down, but like they're going to come up with it. I mean, these people are still throwing multi-$1,000 plate fundraisers and stuff like that. They're still doing all of these things. None of that has shut down. And you had AOC after the 2024 election going out into her constituents and in her district, being like, "I'm so confused. You voted for me and Trump."
Right.
AOC is very Trumpy.
Yeah.
Just in terms of her populism.
I agree with you, Libby. I do agree that they need to fix their messaging. Trans shit that's so old hat now. Like there is stuff they're gonna have to update it. But MAGA has really put together the model for what works and what talks to people, and that's literally being authentic, literally being outspoken, getting on podcasts, getting on social media, saying crazy stuff. Crockett, whether you like her or not, she's like fearless when it comes to like, you know, saying what she thinks, you know, going out there acting crazy.
Did you see the report today from the New York Post?
Yeah, like her seat might be
No,
limited.
apparently her staffers say that she doesn't do any work.
Oh, of course not.
She just hangs out in her apartment and
she's a
like
spokesperson.
influencer level
Correct.
and not actually
That's-
doing anything for the for
AOC
her
too. She's an
constituents.
influencer. That's all. They're just influencers. I mean, let's be real. Like politics is a popularity contest, right?
Well, I think
Like, at the end
AOC
of the
actually
day.
does have like committee assignments. Not
Yeah.
that means you're working, but like,
Right.
at least like
She was
she's showing up places.
Yeah, she was.
Crockett's
she
just
was
hanging out.
She was on Twitch for a while playing. What's that Harvest game? The
Harvest Moon?
Harvest Moon. Yeah, it's
She
like
played-
our
she
tax
played
dollars.
games with Tim Waltz on Twitch.
I know our tax dollars hard at work. It's like I'm like mad.
But
about
like I agree with you. Like they're replicating the Trump or the MAGA like recipe of doing things, but the messaging hasn't changed. And I don't
Right.
think
It's like hollow.
yeah,
The
yeah.
messaging has
It's
changed
just
in the
still
sense
so
of
fu-
Epstein, though. Epstein was a big win for them, and
No,
they
it
know
was
that.
not.
It
They
is.
know it wasn't
because even the
they
MAGA
had.
base is upset about it.
Well, the thing too
Of course,
is
but-
the Democrats had 4 years to release anything on Epstein that they wanted, and if there was anything in there that actually harmed Trump, they would have released it. And that's why it sounds so hollow. And that's why you even had Joe Scarborough, I think, talking to Jamie Raskin about it on his show and being like, "Okay, Congressman, like." If you're so gung-ho about this Epstein stuff, why didn't you do anything about it for the past 4 years?
I understand what
and
you're
Raskin
saying.
couldn't say a word.
I understand what you're saying with the insiders. What I'm talking about is their base. And now, I mean, literally having Epstein on local news, on, you know, like in the mainstream psyche is insane. Like it's everything we've asked for the last, 8 years or whatever. Like it's finally mainstream. So they've kind of unlocked that. And all they're doing is taking the MAGA playbook and using it. You know, I agree the messaging needs to change and stuff, but they
I
are
don't think their
playing
messaging
copycat.
needs to change because
Copycat.
they don't think it needs to
Well,
change.
you won't get the
I think
same
it's just a
result.
losing message.
I understand.
Right. With losing people.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. I don't think they have a great chance for the midterms either because so far I don't know what they could possibly be driving home.
Sure.
Jeffries is mad. He just stands there on the floor yelling about everything. You know, you have Chuck Schumer doesn't know what's going on. All of the leading Democrat governors look like idiots out here being like, "Oh, we're going to redistrict our state." Well, you don't have anything to redistrict there.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I also hear them saying we need the new Joe Rogan, we need the new left's Joe Rogan, and they think it's like Friedland, you know, or
there's no
maybe
unifying.
even Theo Vaughn.
There's no unifying message in the Democrat Party.
No,
like in Trump,
exactly.
what Trump is like Trump's thing was like, you know, build the wall, make America great again. You know, we need to. You know, they're just not sending their best. Like that was their that was the thing, right? And that was like a unifying message. And like the Democrat Party is what more illegal immigration, trans stuff, right? And what else? Like what,
Yeah.
there's
Epstein right now.
I mean,
It's hollow.
You saw
Well,
like
it's weird because like we actually like I mean at least the MAGA party had like goals that if accomplished would improve their lives, whereas if the accomplished goals happen on the left, like what does that actually mean?
Well, we don't.
More
I mean,
trans
that's
people. And,
Well, that's the problem is like you see the Zoran primary victory and everyone's like, this is great. We should export this to the country.
Right.
And it's like, this isn't even really I mean, it's socialism, obviously, but if you like read the policy, it's just totally incoherent. It's like, what are you exporting besides like general anti-white
Right.
hatred?
What they're saying
flashy
is-
TikToks? Is that the
Yes,
export?
that's what their export is. Understanding social media, how to use social media, something Trump is very good at, something Vance is a master at.
Zoran
right?
works great in New York, but it's not going to play.
but it's like, yeah, once you get the votes, then what?
I understand,
if
but
he were
like
to win,
but he was able to get people pumped and excited through a new medium, which the Democrats have been failing at for years, or which MAGA has like taken over with podcasts and social media.
This
and
is just a 5-year growing pain. Like Obama was the first person to Twitter,
Yeah.
and then the Republicans figured it out 5 years later. So like,
Yeah.
that's not a game changer. We're talking about actual policy platform, which does have decades long implications.
But
because the policy platform of MAGA will last 20, 30 years.
But
the
inside-
Democrats have to pick their next policy platform very
Well,
carefully.
it'll only last if the Congress actually takes up some of the platforms, because a lot of what Trump is doing now, right, he did by executive order in his first term. The anti-wokeness, there was a whole big thing with Chris Rufo in like, what was it, September 2020. It was massive. It was going to be like this whole 1776 project. It was very cool. He had all of these executive orders going on, and As soon as Biden, with the border wall, all the rest of it, he did not go through Congress to get those laws passed. He did not fight for that in the legislature. And so what you had, as soon as Biden took office, like literally, you can look up the executive orders, January 21st, 2021. He was in there signing executive orders to reverse everything Trump did. He signed like hundreds of orders to reverse what Trump did. And then Trump gets into office. He has signed hundreds of executive orders to reverse what Biden did.
Well, we
right?
think
like
Biden, right?
well,
Auto pen.
Whatever it is, Biden reversed. He went into Title IX and he said, okay, for Title IX, which was, what was it, 64 or 72, something like that. He came in and he said, okay, Title IX now, sex means and gender identity. He did that by executive order. And that pushed out through all the federal agencies. Every federal agency had like 180 days to come back and be like, this is how we're going to fix that. The Department of Ag said we're going to withhold free school lunches if schools don't let boys use girls' bathrooms. You had all of this crazy stuff going on. And that was pushed by executive order so that Trump could just reverse it. If a Republican doesn't win the House again, right, or doesn't win the White House, then all of these executive orders could just be reversed again, and the directives go back again. Now, you have to remember, affirmative action was an executive order.
Right.
That was an executive order, and that stayed with us this whole time. Why did no Republican ever reverse it? You know what I'm saying? Like, any of this stuff can just be reversed. And I find it infuriating that we have a Republican Congress and a Republican-led Senate, and they won't take up some of these things to say, we are reaffirming that Title IX means, you know, legal protections for actual women or whatever the other things are. Some of the border security measures, a lot of that stuff. Has the House passed anything other than the Lake and Riley Act and the Big Beautiful Bill this year? And there's tons of policy proposals from Trump's executive orders, the anti-wokeness, some of the anti-wokeness in AI, which I think is a really big deal. And the Congress hasn't taken up any of it. And instead you have the Senate being like, no, we're not going to stick around and try and confirm some of your appointees. And the House is like, no, we're going to go. You have a bunch of people being like, yeah, we're going to take this free trip to Israel. Like, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? Like, put your stuff together.
I will say that
back these policies.
There's been a little blackpilling on Trump on this show for a little bit, and I understand the frustration, you know, especially like with the way the Epstein thing was handled and with some of the other stuff. But like, just imagine the other option we had if Kamala's president right now. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know what he's done, especially rolling back DEI, a lot of the changes he's made. Like, there have been like the ICE stuff, like going after illegals, like. He has done a lot.
I'm not complaining about Trump. I'm complaining about Congress.
Even the admin.
That's what I was going to say. The thing is when people say, well, look at what we could have had, that's not a pro-Trump position. That's a absolving Congress.
No, but I'm saying I'm both pro and thank God we don't have the other side. But I'm also a fan of what he's doing with immigration, what he's done with DEI, what he's done with a lot of this stuff. You know, like the JFK stuff, obviously, that was interesting, but I think the only thing that he's really kind of screwed up was Epstein, and I don't think that was necessarily him. I think that was his team. So.
Well, speaking of immigration, we got one more story here from the post-millennial. Superman actor Dean Cain to join ICE will be sworn in, quote, ASAP. Dean Cain, an actor who played Superman in the 1990s TV show Lois and Clark. Lois and Clark.
Lois and Clark.
My
90s.
So sorry.
Lewis and Clark. That was totally different.
We can't get them all right. The New Adventures of Superman told Fox News' Jesse Waters Primetime on Wednesday that he is joining ICE. Cain explained that he had put out a recruitment video on Tuesday in which he had laid out the benefits interested parties would get of joining ICE, of which Waters had shown a clip on his show. Let's take a look at the clip real quick.
What are you going to be doing at ICE? Well, let me go back a minute here, Jesse. This is all your fault, by the way.
Yeah?
I'll explain why.
Why?
Because I put out a recruitment video yesterday. I'm actually a deputy sheriff, a sworn deputy sheriff, and a reserve police officer. I wasn't part of ICE. But once I put that out there and you put a little blurb on your show, it went crazy. So now I've spoken with some officials over at ICE, and I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP. So they'll have 80,001 recruits for their 10,000 positions.
Well, they can't have a better guy than Dean Cain. Are you going to be hopping out of ICE vans and apprehending guys?
I will do whatever Director Lyons wants me to do. If that's what it takes, absolutely. I somehow doubt I'll be in that position, but I would be there in a heartbeat. These brave men and women need someone to stand up for them. So rarely, these days are we seeing that. Someone like Daniel Penny stands up, he gets vilified. Dan Bongino steps up, gives up $5 million a year, and goes and takes his position at the FBI. This is the kind of thing where people have to step up. I'm stepping up. Hopefully, a whole bunch of other former officers, former ICE agents will step up, and we'll meet those recruitment goals immediately.
That Chiron was incredible. Illegals have their kryptonite.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
I love it. Patriot Cain, I think you should do it in the Superman costume for like some media on it. I think that'd be fantastic. Like literally Superman kicking out the illegals. This isn't novel though. Steven Seagal did this. Remember, he became a cop. He went, he became a cop.
It looks more like a publicity thing. But he won't even flat out say whether he's actually going to be on the. It's probably a desk job or a media job.
No. Steven Seagal is out there like arresting people. So I think he will do it.
Lawman.
Exactly, where he's just a cop and he comes in.
It's worth noting that like ICE is so much different than anything we've seen so far. ICE in the Trump administration, because this really does feel like to some degree like the Reconquista. And this is like This is the ability to participate in the Reconquista. Put your name in the history books. I was talking to Owen Schroyer about this earlier, and he's in total agreement. So I don't know if you guys agree, but if you're like a young man and you really feel like your inheritance has been stolen when you look around your country, you see ICE as like the ticket to like actually restore that inheritance.
Plus
it's
like
really
$50,000.
That doesn't hurt.
Potential signing bonus.
The glory alone
nice.
is great, and then you can pay off your college.
You guys covered this last night though. Like they still like the barrier to entry is still ridiculous, right? It's like you have to be a government employee, you have to have a 4-year, you have to do. I mean, why would we do that?
4-year gets you around it, and it's like half of Zoomers are going to college. So,
but again, like why put yourself in debt for something? Like if you know this is the job you want to do
anyway.
Who goes to college?
Zoomers.
Oh, that's a bad choice.
More than half are in college.
Like,
I mean, that's your prerogative.
I think you're going to get better candidates. I like Tim's point on this.
I agree.
Let them in and train them.
I agree, but
literally anybody can do any job. That was the whole thing with Leonardo.
I don't think that's true. I don't think
Leonardo
anybody can
DiCaprio's
do
character
any
in Catch
job.
Me If You Can, he literally taught himself to do.
Okay, but that's a different thing.
Right, but he learned.
And they are working.
There's a ton of jobs I can't do. Like I can never be an elephant trainer.
If you had on-the-job training and somebody that was good at their job, you 100% could be an elephant trainer.
I don't think so.
I do.
And also, like,
I could never be a weightlifter.
Okay. Well, what do you mean? You pick up a weight? You're a weightlifter. What are you
No,
talking
that's
about?
not a profession.
This
is not. That's
and
not
like,
profession. That's different. But if you have like someone
that's what we're talking about. We're talking about jobs.
I know. But if you have someone that's good at their job at training, you can learn.
Never
going to
be a rodeo clown.
So this is blank slate theory, disavowed.
Disavowed.
Could never put
This is libtard theory and
blank slate theory. What is?
Yeah, you're saying
that is
anyone can be a weightlifter. It's like no, you need to be Austrian. That's how it works.
Anybody could be a man if they just wish it hard enough.
It's not that. No, I'm not talking about biology. What I'm talking about is like literally on the job training. Tate, you weren't in this seat. A couple of months later, guess what? You're in the seat. You learn how to do the job.
Yeah,
could we
I didn't
say,
transition for the job. I can't be a weightlifter.
I'm just saying, like, we need to have more faith in the workforce and not look at people that don't have a college degree as lessers.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
you're all
that's for
wrong,
sure
Sean.
about
You're all
college.
wrong. I just got a text from a friend Devin. He's a bodybuilder, and he said Blue Hoodie has no idea what weightlifting is like.
Okay.
That kind of says it all right
Some people
there.
just don't have the genetics for it.
All right. I think we should just all call Sean Blue Hoodie from now on.
Listen, I'm right. I've been on many work sites where you can literally teach someone. Like, I don't like looking at people as lesser, especially people that are on the floor.
I
Like,
view people as lesser all the time.
Okay.
That's being American.
I think
That's what makes us great.
I think that's the problem, though, is that we don't accept the fact that some people can't do certain things.
Exactly.
Whether it's a gender issue or an ethnicity or race issue or just an intellect issue. Like, there's going to be jobs that we can't do.
So I'm gonna ask you this question. So you think there are that your race prevents you from learning a job?
There are some things that this is just factual. Like there are some races that excel at certain things over others, and that's not. I think it's actually better to accept.
Do you have
that.
any examples?
I'm not going to give an example.
Well, I mean, let's get into it.
Like
What are the
I couldn't probably be a bodybuilder, right? Like.
Because you're Mexican.
I think I don't have the genetics for it. Like I look at my father and my family.
Oh, yeah, but
right?
I'm not saying. But your race, does your race actually prevent you?
I
from doing
think in some situations, that there are specific things that you cannot.
Examples,
and
boys.
field.
Okay, track and field. All right.
Yeah, you look at like football teams. There's majority blacks because they excel. Like look at how they build muscle faster.
Well,
they
fast
run
twitch
faster.
muscle fibers.
Yeah,
extended
absolutely.
heel
Okay,
bone.
okay.
You look at like some Asian.
So you don't think
cultures
that comes
excel.
from the culture that's pushing the kids to be in sports from like the age of 5?
I don't think that that's actually true.
Okay.
I think science will actually show that black people have a tendency to build muscle faster and have.
Well, they develop earlier. and
So
then-
what you guys are saying is black people are better at sports than white people.
Yeah. Yes. Obviously, that's like everyone in
All
America.
right.
I don't think that's.
All right,
I
just
don't
wanna
think
get
that's
that out
true
there.
Either.
With team sports, yeah. That's
I don't think that's true.
I don't think
You're
it's
arguing
true
against,
either. I
like,
think you can
the
train
NBA and NFL. I mean, the
there
NHL is all
but
they
I
got.
mean, that's just recently. That's just
Exactly.
recently. I mean, the NBA, like, the NBA originally, like, it was mostly
white dudes,
Jewish players.
You
You know,
Yeah,
and
when
then
they were
it
all like
changed.
plumbers.
Yeah, but there's also
LeBron-
like
LeBron
there also,
against
when you
someone
try
who's
to get like
6'4".
to a higher elite level. Like yes, if you're
But I
taking
mean,
from a
that's
certain
just
base,
that's
but if
just
you're
where we are right now culturally.
I think it's
that
more
that could
culture.
change.
In the black community, they really push their kids to focus on sports at an earlier age than in other groups.
Yeah, but I lived in America and have had white parents who pushed their sons and daughters to be like soccer players, and that's all they do their whole life. And ski racing as well. Like I ski raced as a kid. Like people put their entire life behind that, and like, yo, your kid is never winning an FIS race. It's never going to happen.
Understood.
Like, no
I'm
matter
not
what
saying
you
I'm
think.
not saying anyone can do anything. What I'm saying is your race doesn't necessarily prevent you from doing something. Like you can be born
course
in
your
any
race doesn't prevent you
right.
from doing
So you could be
things. I
born
agree
like
with that
like Yao
100%.
Ming was 8 foot. He was in the NBA forever. They
Sure.
loved him.
And
He's
what about
shiny.
like what about the there was like a plethora of Eastern European basketball players for a while that were like
Right now.
And the
dominating.
Europeans are crushing in the NBA,
Yeah.
and they're white, Tate.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I just think it's a non-starter if we're going to say that white Americans are just as
I don't
likely
think-
to be in
I
the
think
NBA
it's a
as
bad
black
argument.
Americans.
But it's
think it's a
about.
bad argument.
I think that's totally cultural.
Yep.
To
I agree.
I
That's
grew
why,
up in
like-
I grew up in Memphis. I really wanted to go to the NBA. You realize pretty quickly it's not going to happen.
But I'm saying there is a white person like you, like taller than you and better than you, that could, is what I'm saying.
But I think if we're talking in generalities,
generality,
yeah,
like,
because of
exceptions
course
don't
there's
just
going to
prove the norm.
Exactly.
Right. But also there's something to
What about
hard work
hockey?
and grit.
Right?
In
I mean,
this
look
country,
at hockey. Like that's a very.
But we also look at generalities in like gender. Like men perform better in certain things
Sure.
than women do, and vice versa. Women
yeah,
perform
but
better than
that's
Academic
definitely-
Olympiads, you
that's
see,
definitely.
and I think if
there's
you
a
can
lot of
accept the fact, if you
biological
accept the
things
fact
about
that genders have
Gender and race
superiority
are
in certain
totally
things,
different.
Gender
then
and
I
race
think it makes sense that races would fall into that
I
as
think
well.
gender and race are totally
gender and race are
completely
different. Also, too, like there is something in this country. A, make colorblindness great again. B,
I agree with
we
that.
were always taught, like from when we were kids. Guess what? With enough hard work, you can get there.
Totally.
Okay. Like that's the
I don't
message.
think that's
I'm sick of
always
this.
true, but
I
do
know, but
respect
the message should still be to the kids instead of telling kids, "Hey, you're victims. You're this. You're never
With
gonna
enough
make it."
hard work, you
We
too can
need
read
to
the
get back
Odyssey.
to that.
You know,
like you can do it. Like you can do it. Put your mind.
Okay,
to
but
it.
you literally you mentioned you said
yeah.
you said someone taller than you can make the NBA. So you're already conceding that your genetics absolutely determine
So
what
like
you're going to do with your life.
Okay, fair. So instead of maybe being a player, they can go into ads for the NBA. They can go into something. I'm just saying, dude. Like sometimes your dream is your dream. It's like, hey, I want to be in the NBA no matter what. It's like,
But they're not being prevented from it. Like you can just because you are able to do something
we're
doesn't
being-
mean you're going to be like
also
the best.
part
ever.
of the
telling them their race it doesn't allow them to do it. It's a bad message. to
I
kids.
agree.
No, I
That's
don't
what
think
the
anywhere
woke-
in the United States, anywhere is telling you can't do something
We
because
just
you're
said it
if,
on this.
like,
If
that's,
my
no, that's not
kid-
what that's
if
not the
my
point. The point is
kids-
saying like it's bigger than just like any person's skin color. Like skin color means almost nothing. Like, I have a friend from North London that has lived in London his whole life, and he's a black guy, and he doesn't have anything to do with like, but he's English in all sense of the word. I understand that. I'm not like not being an idiot here, but I'm saying like. Just the idea that someone has like their skin color is like the only thing that determines like we have a major issue in this country with cultural assimilation.
Yes.
Cultural assimilation is the major issue with all of this immigration. It has nothing to do with the skin color. I don't care what your skin color is. It matters if you can assimilate into the culture and become an American.
Right.
That's the issue. I don't want to be like, oh, well, we can let anyone. It's like, yeah, sure, anyone can do it, but can they reach those? Like, we're based on meritocracy. Can you reach the actual levels? Just because you can do the job doesn't mean you're the optimal person for the job. Doesn't mean you're the best person to be doing it.
But
I think
hard
it's
work
way big. Yeah, hard work, sure, but like
gets you there. It's the point I make.
Sure.
That
Yeah,
needs to
sure.
come back in our culture. Like we lost that. The kids these days are being taught your sex, your race, whatever. It's holding you back. There's nothing you can do. Our society's stacked against you. Instead of getting back to what the 90s and the 80s kids were told, it's like, hey, you want to do that? do it.
Yeah, and look, we're telling people you can be anything you want. Got us.
Shoot for
Got
the
us
moon.
into the biggest mess in
If
the
you
world.
shoot for the moon, the worst you can do is land on the stars.
I'm not making any argument for like genetic determinism. I'm just saying like people need to be like kind of realistic and stop telling like 5-foot women they can be cops.
That's where I fall. It's like you just have to be able to accept the fact that if you're 5'5", you're probably not going to be an NBA player.
I wanted to be a
within the
model,
police-
and I walked into so many open calls in New York, and they were like, "Get out of here! You're not."
Even with the
6'3".
police, though, there's clerical needs. There's a whole bunch of office needs. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
I
I'm
started
just saying.
talking about ICE officers, and then you're making an argument. It's like no.
There's the ICE has
Standards.
clerical
They
needs.
need
They have
standards.
logistical needs. They need people mapping out where the trucks are going.
But there's definitely someone that's being better at doing that, and someone that's being worse at doing that. And I think like right now we have a situation where it's like, just because you can do the basic job, like I see videos of people at Walmart that are like not doing the job at all, and like, oh well, I worked 4 hours and I get this money. It's like I'm just quiet quitting. I'm just trying to like whatever get by. It's like I don't want you working there, bro. The stuff needs to go on the shelves. Like stuff needs to happen. We need to like have a functioning country. Just because some people can do the job theoretically doesn't mean they actually will. Doesn't mean they have like a real drive to actually.
But you're
do
missing the
job well.
point of the message. The message is if you truly want to do it, hard work will get you there. I understand what you're saying, Serge. Like if they don't want to do it, you're right. You're not going to force a circle into a square peg, right? But if somebody's truly motivated and they're like, this is my dream, this is the thing I want to do, we should be
But that
encouraging.
messaging has gone too far because you're seeing so many like institutions, whether it's schools or even military or police, they're lowering the standards because they want to accommodate that ideology. They want to say, well, so you're telling somebody you can do whatever they want, and they physically or literally can't. So we're just going to lower the standards so that they can hit that.
Completely
And
opposed
that's
to
the
that.
big problem.
That was never part of the messaging in the 90s. It
that's
wasn't like work hard and you can achieve because we're going to lower the standards. It's work hard so you know what
No,
it
it's
takes.
this
Work hard so we can
mentality-
replace you with a ton of random people that we're going to bring to the country at the end of your college
That wasn't
years.
the
And say,
message.
Oh, sorry, our bad.
was
Like,
the
did anyone do
clinkers.
the job? And
The
everyone came.
The clankers.
Well, we have a generation of children whose parents told them they can do anything they want, they can be anything they want, and that just raises a bunch of really, really entitled people.
I disagree. I think it brings up people that like actually think outside the box and can think past like what society is putting on them as far as you can only do this. Like if it's America, dude, that's the whole reason why we are America. People come here because they know if you work hard enough here, you can do whatever you
Stop
want.
coming. Stop coming here.
Yeah, please. You can't.
I'm not-
Your
listen,
dreams will not happen here. We're full.
Yes, exactly. We're full now.
Unless
But I'm
you
saying that
can-
was always the idea.
Unless you want to join ICE, then we can maybe make an exception.
I think like telling kids that the white kids are oppressing the black kids and the black kids are victims and they're never going to make it. That's a horrible.
Not what I'm saying.
That's not what I
though.
was arguing either.
Yeah,
well, that is what's being taught today.
I thought we started with anyone could come and do anyone else's job if taught by somebody who does that job. I don't agree with that.
Really?
No.
So,
yeah.
okay, give me a couple of examples of jobs you think that can't be taught outside of weightlifting, which
I mean, I could teach you how to be an audio engineer over the course of like 10 or 15 years if you're really good at music. And
so
that's what
you don't
love
think
to
anyone
do.
can learn how to be audio engineers as long as
I think it's pretty difficult to teach writing. I mean, if you're, you know, if
So-
you're,
so-
you can teach somebody who can
There's some
write to
things that
be
just require
better.
we can't teach writing either.
You can teach somebody who can write to be a better writer, but I don't think you can teach someone who has no skill to be good.
Listen, there's always a percentage for the X factor in anything, and I think if people have that X factor, and a lot of times it's interest and passion, like autism, to the point where they want to just do it. You know what I mean? Those are the people you can train. That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about you can train some Joe Schmo off the street that's like not interested at all. I'm talking about the people that actually.
I
have
thought
a
that's
passion.
what you're saying.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you can get them there, right? Like,
I think both are possible. I mean, you look at the classic disposition, which is Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Lionel Messi is like 5'6". Nothing about he has a growth hormone deficiency. Nothing about him would indicate this is going to be a top level athlete, and he's the greatest soccer player of all time. Right. On the other hand, if Cristiano Ronaldo is 6'3", physical specimen, he trains, he's like has the most diligent diet probably on planet Earth, and he's also achieved that very high level. So it's like there is two pathways. You could work your way there, or with Lionel Messi, he does work very hard, obviously, but there's just a
natural.
He just has a certain level of talent, and so it's like it's the same thing with writing, or the same thing as sound engineers. Like you can teach someone to get to a really good point, but to be that Lionel Messi, you just have to have that intangible talent that is born.
And I don't know if you're too young, but like Muggsy Bogues was in the NBA. Does anyone remember Muggsy Bogues?
Yeah.
He was like 5'1", 5'2". I mean, what if people told him, "Oh, you're not tall enough, whatever, blah blah blah." That dude was like an all-star. I mean, there are exceptions. So like, all I'm saying is it shouldn't be taken off the table. We shouldn't be teaching kids that they're worthless and that they're victims. We should be teaching them that you can do anything.
Totally.
Put your mind to it. Figure it out. Especially if you have the passion.
All right.
If you're American.
I agree. All right, we need to get to super chats, I think, right, Serge? Serge is kind of like coaching me through this whole situation. I know it makes it, I look like I got it all locked down. I'm putting it all together. It's actually Serge throwing up hand signals. I think he threw up a gang sign earlier, so we need to be a little careful. But do you just read every super chat?
I'll show you. We'll get there.
Okay, all right. Just
And
point,
while you're
hover over what I
transitioning-
read.
Yeah.
While you're transitioning, it's American, not American.
Hey.
Hey, whoa. All right, join ICE. All right.
Yes. And lower the standards for ICE. I think a lot. I think you get a lot more people.
4-year thing, I think, is. I don't.
4
agree
year
with it.
or government. Like you have to have government experience. It's like no, we don't want people in the government. They're worthless.
All right, well, it's time to read. I got to lock in here.
Okay.
James Adrinson says, "Good luck, Tate. Hopefully this won't be remembered as a taint cast."
Ooh.
Ouch.
You can do anything you want on your last day.
I think the jury is out so far. I don't know. We'll see what the people say afterwards. Was it Raybert G. Stanbert Jr.? Cool that Tim got a long-lost Tate brother as a backup host. Yeah, people don't realize having Tate as your name when you're scrolling through your Twitter feed and you see people like, Tate is a domestic abuser. Tate kids trafficking women. And I'm just like, the psychological impact that has reading your name, doing that over and over. I'm like, I didn't do that. I'm a good guy, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I appreciate it.
Wait till the list comes out. We'll see.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Big 7588 says the last time a citizenship question was included on the main U.S. Census questionnaire sent to every household was in 1950. Bless you.
Thank you.
1950.
1950. That's
Right.
according to Big
But
7588.
the point I'm making with that is not that it's on the census. The point I'm making with is these people trust police officers less than black people. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to talk to anybody.
Well, they tried to get the citizenship question on the census in 2019 ahead of the 2020, and it was not approved to go forward.
Yeah.
Brett Dasovic. Tatecast. Remember, boys, calories in, calories out.
I had to. I'm sorry.
It's based. It's based.
It's true.
Yeah, if you didn't see last night, like,
Oh, we got an extended version today from Tim on the calories in, calories
yeah,
out.
if you didn't see last night, the war, the psychological war, I would say, between Phil and Tim over calorie counting, was, I mean, it made Israel and Palestine look like a slight disagreement.
Wait, who had which take?
Phil was saying calorie deficit is all that matters to cut weight, and Tim was saying no, you need certain nutritional
macros.
Yeah, you need
Protein,
certain macros.
exercise, and
cut weight.
he references Neil deGrasse Tyson because Neil deGrasse Tyson's a fat ass, and he makes the calorie in, calorie out argument.
I've only ever had success losing weight one time in my life, and it wasn't exercise and it wasn't calorie deficits.
You exercise every day, so what do
No,
you
I do now. Oh, anxiety and depression. Super effective. I lost 30 pounds in like 2 months.
Oh yeah, just don't
It's
eat.
amazing.
Yeah, just
Extended food
I wasn't
poisoning.
even not eating.
Not eating is calorie
Oh.
deficit.
It was
just being
just
sad all the time.
anxiety and
Crying?
depression.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heron Gaming
Very
News
effective.
says,
Highly
I
recommend.
support the removal of junk food from food stamps, but pre-cooked deli items should be covered. Some people don't know how to cook.
I agree with that.
Yeah, well, we
That's
just
a good
didn't-
take.
Aren't they? Well, in Texas, we recently just passed the removal of soda and candy for SNAP
it's all over.
beneficiaries, and so that was a really big deal for us. And you know, it's crazy, and a lot of people aren't talking about it, is the soda industry, the PACs, were paying influencers to fight against that.
That's pretty dirty. Yeah.
It's very
Yeah,
dirty,
that's right.
and
It's
there's
not
a
very
lot of
Java
very
at all.
a lot of MAGA influencers were being paid without disclosing to not promote not removing soda and candy.
Yeah.
I think that was a big turning point, actually, because like the whole influencer getting paid to do stuff market, like like with advertising, you know, it's always very clear, like this is an advertisement. When we run ads on the Post Millennial website, and I know you do this too, right? Like you have to say like, this is an advertisement. And there haven't been standards for influencers. It's such a new
They're supposed to be.
area.
Wild West.
X has guidelines that
Yeah,
the
and
FEC
I think
has
that's-
some
I
gray
think that's
guidelines
some-
about it, but they're not doing it. And this is
Do you
specifically
think
a
it's
huge
changed?
problem.
Do you think people are doing it now after that whole soda kerfuffle?
No, absolutely not. They're doing it today. There's plenty of, and I hate to say it, but there's a lot of MAGA influencers that are taking cash from PACs, from other organizations, directly from politicians in order to push policy. There's this big MAGA influencer, I'm not going to drop his name, but he was taking money from the green energy lobby, being paid $12 per petition to push solar energy in Texas. And it was so disingenuous. They were using the background, they were using oil wells in the background of this petition.
Oh, that's
but
crazy.
You were signing something that was promoting wind and solar energy in Texas, and he got called out on it, immediately deleted it. But there are companies that you can sign up if you're this MAGA influencer that will pay you to push like petitions or policy, and they're not disclosing. In fact, I posted this and I got approached by one, and they specifically ask you not to put it that it's an ad or that you're being paid for by it.
I don't have a problem with it so long as it's fully disclosed.
I totally agree with you. People should be able to be compensated for their following.
Yeah,
absolutely. But you should
makes a lot
disclose
of
that you're
sense.
being
It
paid.
should just be disclosed, just like with anything else.
I disagree with the super chatter, though. I do think deli meat should not be a part of it because
Deli meat?
it's horrible for you. It's full of sodium.
Beef?
It's
Make a little sandwich.
no,
What
it's
are you supposed to
completely
take to
unhealthy.
work?
And the argument of people don't know how to cook. Come on, YouTube teaches you everything.
No, I think
right
that
now.
I think pre-prepared deli foods should be fine. I think you should be able to get the Stouffer's.
Horribly unhealthy.
Well, I think you should be able to get some of this stuff. Like, I think it's okay. I am not a fan of putting chips and candy bars and sodas on.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a lot of room for lifestyle choices that are healthy within the rest of the framework. This is not typically stuff that I buy. But I mean, I'll buy deli meat and like make a sandwich or whatever, you know.
I'm just saying, if the goal of Maha is to make the food more healthy that you're getting from government,
A classic
dollars.
American sandwich, like classic lunch is a ham sandwich.
But
Like,
you can
can't-
cook the
you can't-
chicken. You can. It takes two. Come on. You go on YouTube. Anyone can learn how to cook a chicken.
I don't think there's anything wrong with deli meat.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
You think
I'll
they're
take the
eating,
A little
Yeah,
ham and cheese, like you were saying.
Yeah, do you think they're eating rotisserie chicken up on the Empire State
Rotisserie's
Building?
good.
No, they were eating
Rotisserie's
sandwiches.
good.
They were-
Rotisserie's
I like a
actually
rotisserie.
good.
I think
Rotisserie
that
should
should
be
be on there
fine.
too.
Yeah.
I think you
We'll
should
meet in the
also be
middle.
able to get the
Rotisserie.
They were
pre-made,
eating
you
a
know,
sandwich on the
pre-made
on that
potato
beam.
salad.
Hoagie.
Yeah. Well, they were also working their ass off.
Yeah, because they're eating sandwiches. That fuels the American man.
Like
It's
a
beautiful
sandwich.
thing. Yeah.
You can eat anything you
solid
want when you're
sandwich.
working on skyscraper.
Real. Shane H. Wilder says, I'm sorry, Libby. I'm going to be nerdy and correct you. Jim Jones did not use Kool-Aid. It was Flavor Aid. The dude couldn't even shell out for the good stuff.
Yeah, well, they were socialists. and
Yeah, there you go.
Marxists.
Well, if you're killing everybody, you may as well.
And actually,
But that is, of course, where, I mean, it's sort of apocryphal at this point because the phrase drink the Kool-Aid comes from the Jim Jones massacre.
Right.
And nobody says drink the Flavor Aid.
Right.
So I'm sorry, Shane. The history of it has been replaced with the metaphor.
Also, too,
Kool-Aid
the real
stepped in,
story
we're
was
like,
they
we'll take
didn't
that.
drink the Kool-Aid willingly. It was
Right,
by
he
gunpoint.
forced
Most of them,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it was by gunpoint, and those that didn't, they shot him anyways.
And they killed a congressman who went
Yeah,
down
they
there.
killed the
to see what was
congressman
going
that
on.
was
Congressman
going.
Ryan.
That's when it went all awry. As soon as that congressman died and they killed him.
I would
like,
argue
that
it
was
went awry before that, but he definitely capped it off for sure.
And guess what? They were socialists. Didn't work again. Socialism failed again.
Also, wasn't he banging all the chicks on the
course. Oh, yeah.
compound?
Of course.
Yeah.
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 It's always the
And the
guru
dudes.
guys you got to watch out for.
Hey, I'm starting, the more I learn about these cults, the less I like them. I got to say.
Right? You know?
God, yeah, you're
Yeah,
not
I
wrong.
gotta say.
Something about this
Not
Jim
for me.
Jones guy.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these.
I can't
a
take.
good
I can't
guy,
take
man.
the opposite of that argument. Like I would love to take the opposite. Of that.
Yeah, the
No,
cults
yeah.
are no bueno.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just-
I can't name a good cult.
No.
yeah, I don't know what's
Scientology is the most successful.
Well, Heaven's Gate, they got some cool shoes out of it, I guess.
Yeah, Nike.
Their website.
They did,
Successful
man.
and good
Isn't
are
their
not the
website
same.
still
Exactly.
Yes, they left one guy behind
They
to
had
do the
3 billion.
website.
but-
All right, Mike G says, count the illegals. After they're rounded up and sent to detention centers in red states, let's play really dirty.
Why are we sending them to detention centers? Why wouldn't we just send them out of the country?
Well, because you
Like-
got to put them somewhere before you get them on those flights.
Oh, I
Staging
see.
area.
Oh, staging to okay.
Yeah, like what is it? Speedway Slammer in where's the Speedway Slammer? Is that going to be Indiana? The Speedway Slammer, Alligator Alcatraz in
Yeah,
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like the cost to put them like on planes and stuff. That's got to be insane.
Well, Biden was like, well, not exactly paying for people to come in, but he was facilitating all those people to come in. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's
Well, he
got to
just opened
cost
the
money.
gates,
It's
yeah.
got to cost money to get people out.
Yep. No, I get it.
Here's a good one from Mehmed, too. Illegals were filling out the census. I did work census in 2010. I was a census crew leader specifically because I spoke Spanish.
Yeah, they really, because to your point. Yes,
hold on.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with
Tony.
you that the illegals are hesitant to talk to government, but these people were showing up in t-shirts, jeans, shorts, saying, "Hey," talking to them in their native language, saying, "Fill out this form," and it really put them at ease in order to fill something out.
I will say 2010 though. Okay, there has to be a difference here because I understand what you're saying. Illegals with the anchor babies are a lot more confident than the illegals that don't have the anchor babies. So I'm sure the people that he was talking to in 2010 had American kids that were. So that would be interesting. Maybe super chat or throw in the comments. Let us know. Like how many of those illegals that he was surveying had kids. I'd like to know it because they're more confident.
No,
Yeah,
could be. TNP says, "What's the chance we can get Kurt Kaz or Tyler Oliveira or Bald and Bankrupt on the podcast? Would be good to get some travel vloggers on. That would be sick. Bald and Bankrupt's huge.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Does he have a contact? Tell him to reach out.
Yeah, Kurt Kaz, he's great. I don't see as much from Tyler Oliveira, but yeah, Kurt Kaz does a lot of wild videos.
Obligatory South African shout out to Kurt Kaz. But Tyler Oliveira just did that video where we went to Paris. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but I know I think probably Asman and them covered the video and Tectone covered it and stuff. But the video is nuts. If we just get people to go on the streets and show what it's really happening, I'm sitting on a bunch of travel vlogs from Africa that I got to do something with. We should do something with them.
I think we should do something with them, release them to the people.
Shameless plug, am I right?
Well, no, I don't know. They're just sitting on a hard drive. Yeah. So if anything, this is holding myself accountable to do something with.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Let's see here. Andrew D from NP says, "Imagine Tulsi v. Kamala in 3 full one-on-one debates."
Oh, Tulsi Rexer.
Tulsi
And
wrecked her
everyone.
in
I know.
2020.
Well,
Yeah,
what do you guys think, Tulsi?
on the debate stage.
Tulsi?
Yeah, it's not going to get up here and say Kamala would win really decisively.
I mean, Libby, what do you think of this ticket, JD Tulsi?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's too early.
I mean, it really sort of depends on what happens with the Russia stuff, right?
What do you mean?
She dropped all those documents, alleging.
Can she close?
Yeah, alleging that Obama and Hillary Clinton.
Will we see arrests?
Will we see something come from that?
Okay.
I think that is actually so underreported right now.
It is. Yeah.
And we really need to know.
It's a good thing you work for a
what's
news
going on.
organization.
Well, we've been reporting on it,
Great.
Yeah.
Where can they find that?
They could find that in the Post Millennial, Sean.
Hey.
Hey.
That's not a shameless plug. See the difference?
Someone you didn't see says, "In keeping with Timcast tradition, we are here at the hospital for the delivery of our first child. Want to shout out my wife for staying so strong through the pain, praying for a safe delivery." Yep. We will pray for a safe delivery as well. That is awesome.
Congratulations.
I will say,
Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Tim always talks about the population declining, but for some reason, every show, there's 1 or 2 kids that are born in the super chats.
That's very cool. Yeah.
So, which way is it? I can't wait for the census.
Everyone should have babies. It's better than everything else.
Maybe they need to watch more Timcast.
Maybe so.
I think
we have
Timcast does something to these people.
Yeah.
We have someone tomorrow that does not agree with that sentiment. I can't wait.
Really? That's because that's your sentiment
Bella Camino.
as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think having babies is the best.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. Vacant Stare says, "The asylums used to have large farms and they had the committed work in the farms or the other cottage industry." Yeah, I mean, that's still the chain gang is still a thing. We still use labor from
is he saying prison?
That's where we get our license.
Asylums.
Right?
Yeah.
Speaking of the DMV, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we have all these people in prison. Absolutely, put them on the farms. Seriously, what are we doing? It's crazy. We're just paying for them to live in these prisons. The prisons are making money. We're losing money.
Didn't we used to have criminals or felons or whatever you also fighting fires?
Yes. Yeah. They still do it. I think they still do it. Yeah.
Right.
And they have ROTC programs too. I think where they're going to join the military and stuff. All that's good stuff. Why are we using a underclass of people that's not even from our country? We literally are paying for people to have 3 meals, and beds every night. It's come on.
Yeah.
And that don't pay them. See, that's how you get it.
They pay the
$2 an hour.
Yeah, they pay the firefighters.
Yeah, the prisoners. I think it's something like $1 an hour, $2 an hour, something for the work they do, something like that.
Yeah, it's because they make it sound like it's slave labor. It's they're getting compensated,
right? Especially
being in prison, your commissary runs out. Exactly, it's a great thing. But I got to be careful pronouncing this one. Kuman and get some. Oh, come on and get some. Okay. Dude, that was
Got him.
scary. No joke. The farm thing is a great idea. I know of a place called Renovatus in Jefferson City, Tennessee. It's a Christian-based program that houses them and has them learn skills on the farm. Shout out.
Shout out. What's his name? Her name? His name?
Come on
Oh, yeah.
and get some. But the
Come on and
place
get
is
some
called
is my favorite chat.
Renovatus in Jefferson City. I mean, yeah, these places. I mean, they have like they have these programs where they send people to like the troubled children to farms and these sorts of things. Like,
And a lot of it too, it's like, especially with troubled youths, I know that word's being used a lot, but a lot of times when they get into jobs and they actually go home from doing like a day's work, there's a sense of pride there. And I think, again, like, that's something that's you can't measure, you know?
Serge is finding me another chat here. Is that this one? This one's a good one.
Yeah, the Bruce
All right.
Sabalovaro guy.
Bruce Sabalvaro. They edited the crime race profiles of arrested people into non-Hispanic and white to boost and drop numbers.
Oh,
Yeah, well, you
okay.
see like some of these mugshots and
Well, and
white guy.
what Fox had on today, like the numbers, it was insane. It was like white, it was down, 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 down. Black was up, 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 and then 2024 was like white was way up and black
Yeah.
was way down. I was like,
What happened?
that typically doesn't. What happened there?
it could be returning to a very traditional view, like the founding fathers, where like Franklin viewed anyone that wasn't English as like swarthy.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
that's what's going
Yeah.
on. Yeah, maybe they're just returning to heritage.
Or like the Post Millennial Reporter, they're just messing around. I can't swear yet, but messing around with the numbers.
That's, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
playing with cooking the books.
Daniel Irving says, parents to prison? That is dumb, unless you give parents 100% control over their children.
A parent should have 100% of their control of their children at all times. If they're out there killing people, it's on the parents. It's the values that they taught them, and the fact that they're not supervising them. It's their fault.
Or if
Well,
a child kills somebody,
100%.
do we just jail the child? Like, is that a
Well, both. But the problem is that you can't, because of the way the system is set up now, the kids can't go to jail for
Well, now we
very
send them to jail then.
Right. But I'm saying, like, to like
Parents
mind
Get out
us-
and have no
Can-
parents.
Right.
Because they'll be in prison.
But like
Then
parents don't, I mean, Sean, you're completely misunderstanding how parenting works. You don't have control of your child 100% of your time because the entire process of raising a child is going from when they are totally dependent on you to when they are not dependent on you at all. And that's the process of raising your child.
If you raise
So
your
if
child,
you're like, there's a totally different situation between having a 1-year-old, 2-year-old
Right.
through like 10 years old. You pretty much have control over your child. But at a certain point, you put your child on the school bus. They're going off to high school. You do the best that you can, and ideally, you've done a great job, right?
Right.
You feed your kid. You sit down with your kid every night for dinner. You talk to them all the time. You're in touch with what's going on
you
with
should
them.
know what's going on.
But
right?
yeah, but it's a process of growing your kid up so that they can take care of themselves and be part of the world.
I'm just saying, if your child is in a position where they've killed someone or did something horrible to another person, it leads me to believe that the parent has no idea what's going on in that kid's life, because you would know, Libby, if your kid was like with the maniac Latin disciples or whatever, I'm sure you would know by now, right? So like, you as the parent should be responsible for like removing them from those situations. That's all I'm saying. Like, there needs to be more accountability on the parents.
Some parents don't know and they think their kids are great.
Some kids are psychopaths and can
That's
trick their
correct.
parents
Sure,
into
but-
thinking like everything's cool.
Okay, that's an exception to the rule then. Most kids are not smarter than their parents can outsmart them.
Just cut off their funding.
Yeah.
What was that?
Cut off their benefits.
No money.
Yeah, no, I
That's
agree
it.
with that.
You don't have to jail
Starve
the
'em.
parents. Cut off their benefits.
Beat them,
What benefits though?
What if they're taking like SNAP benefits?
Oh,
or
I
they're
mean-
getting,
okay,
tax
okay.
deductions on stuff, whatever. Just eliminate that.
Okay,
Your
I
kid
mean-
commits crimes, it won't stop. You don't get government benefits anymore.
I'm just saying, like, not all kids that cause crime are on EBT.
Well,
you know
sure,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, the parents need to be an active role. Like,
Find the
when
parents. Your kid keeps breaking into cars. You owe
Yeah.
the government $7,000.
It's the issue I have with the Elon statement, because it's like, having kids such a good thing, blah 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 blah. They keep missing the part of the messaging. Hey, when you have a kid, guess what? Your life is now focused on that kid. And a lot of parents, especially these days with how hard it is economically, they think, I can have a kid and like, it's going to be fine. No. You need to like sacrifice and take care of that kid. And that means being a part of their life, talking to them, knowing what they're doing. And if they're in crime and doing all this other stuff, that's on you. Sorry. It's on you.
Omega
Just Japanese rosetsu, I think.
Oh, sorry, sir. Oh, my bad. All right. As an individualist, I cannot agree with this potato in a blue jacket. If the parents have done everything to prevent criminality, you should not punish the parents because peer pressure exists.
I love this rage bait. I love it. It works in high school. Like if your kid's not going to high school and they're not showing up and they're truants, like the high schools will go after the parents. Obviously, it's not straight to jail, but like over time, if they're like completely delinquent and they're not showing up and they're doing all these horrible things on the street or whatever, and the parents aren't doing anything about it.
Truancy court.
Yeah, jail.
So
Jail
how many
time.
years should the parents go to jail for like a school shooter or something like that?
Ooh, a long time.
Like forever?
Maybe. Like it
Well, look
depends.
at the
It depends
crumbly
on like.
That's what I'm
again,
saying.
You have to show that you
How do
created
you-
an environment as a parent or you
Right.
allowed this to happen. Like
Right.
if you're a parent and your child ends up being a school shooter and you bought the kid the gun,
Right.
you knew he was suicidal, you knew he was bipolar,
Totally.
and like all the signs were there, then yes, maybe punish
Thank
the parent.
you.
can see
But if
Tony's
you're-
coming around. He's warming up.
But if like you just wake up one day and your kid just like totally flips the script and maybe does some crazy
right.
drugs that causes like then
Then
how, then you
I'm
shouldn't punish the
totally
parent
for
that.
exception. Yeah, except there are definitely exceptions to the rule. But if your kid's the weirdo kid that like doesn't shower and bathe and sits in the corner and like cries or whatever, and you know nothing about it, like there's an onus on you as a parent, right? And like Tony said, they shouldn't have access to guns if they're crazy. Like, sorry.
No, they shouldn't.
Right.
Eric Shaver says, how do you guys complain about bums asking for money when you get paid through ad fraud inflation to sit around and B-word? You guys are the SH bums. You
SH
you
bums.
like being chastised by homeless people? Is that the implication? I mean, I'll send them your way if that's what you want because you're like Mr. High and Mighty here.
Oh my God, that's such an uninformed take too. Like the amount of work and sacrifice Tim has put into this company and the amount of like he's putting 15, 16 hours a day. This team here working 15, 16 hours a day, working 6 days this week, 7 days coming up. We got some other things coming up. Like it never stops here, but it's our passion. We love to do this work. Libby can talk about it too. She's up in the morning, 6 a.m. When do you go to
I'm
bed?
not up
Like
at 6.
7 a.m.
7.
When do you go to bed?
Like midnight.
Okay, most people are not doing that, right? So like 7 a.m. to midnight is a lot of work. So this guy has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, Eric, yeah.
Sorry, Eric.
Relax. Methos671 says, I hate to say it, but I think the front runner is going to be Cory Booker.
Whoa.
Yikes.
Spicy.
You think so?
Wow,
Cory Booker?
Speaking of potatoes and clothing, geez.
I'm interested to know why you think that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
For the Democrats. I mean, I
hope, yeah.
I mean, obviously, but
American Party.
I don't disagree just because like all of the press on the Democrat side, like any live stream I see from like the DNC or whatever always has him in it, like he really is popular on, but so is what's his face, Newsom, and Newsom has a podcast, so I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
Newsom has a podcast because he's trying to launch a run for president.
Yep. Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think that inches him out over Booker just because he has a podcast. That would be my guess.
Is this one good?
Patriot one.
Patriot Paladin. I am 5'7", a Marine and soldier who OGT'd all of my skills and picked up a lot of advanced skills and positions before I got my bachelor's. Paper is just an appeal to authority.
Thank you.
I agree.
Agreed.
Hard work
Solid
beats
agree.
talent when talent.
Yes.
What's the phrase?
Hard work, baby.
Yeah. So it's like, well, I mean, you have the talent of like having an insane work ethic.
Grind.
Especially a lot of these American schools, it makes them more lazy and
Yeah.
more entitled than
Right.
anything. It's just like a glorified high school than it is like actually learning it. Some professions like I'd want a doctor that has a master's and doctorate degree, like of course, like but not not
I will say,
everything
like,
requires.
my high school was really hard. College was less hard, and graduate school was the easiest.
Yeah. But there is a value to grind, and you got to grind. Life is all a grind. And it's like,
I wonder if that's why
find-
it was easier. I got better at working hard.
Yeah. Well, find what you're passionate about because the grind becomes enjoyment and not, like I've been in the jobs where I hate them. It's like you're going in, you're punching the clock. You have to be there 8 hours. Sometimes you have to be there 12 hours. I get it. The rat race sucks, but like, you have to grind. And like I just fear we're teaching these kids like it's like there's nothing you can do, so just give up. I mean, how many Gen Zers are on the show saying nothing ever changes, nothing ever happens? It's like they're completely numb to anything. Like look at it changed. Look, you're Tim tonight. Look at that. Something changed.
Yep.
Sailor Matoko says there were clerical workers in Haiti that literally could not learn how to alphabetize. couldn't even conceptualize it. So you can't just teach people how to do a job in all cases. I mean, Afghanistan's Exhibit A. Like, we tried so hard to teach them democracy, and they just were not into it.
It didn't grind.
That's the problem. Yeah, maybe they just didn't work hard enough.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like
Watch
you
more
can't.
like TikToks if you go.
Military action will never change. Will never change an ideology. You can't go in and force someone to believe something.
Well, I think ideologies are also just instead of like being top down, they're bottom up.
It's like a forced passion.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the Japanese love our culture, and they've always been like impressed by us. So like jeans and like American stuff is popular there. In Afghanistan and Iraq, they hate us, and then you have Obama like killing all their kids all the time. It's like, of course they're gonna hate us.
Yeah. Devin H says we have robots that pick strawberries. Look at Oshii Farm Corp in Jersey City. They pick the very soft Japanese strawberries too. Energy costs is what kills vertical farming. Yeah. I see a lot of stories of how energy intensive some of these operations are.
Clinkers need energy.
It's true, dude.
Clinkers.
Yeah.
They're taking our energy.
They're taking our energy, dude.
Fracking toasters.
Fracking toasters.
Oh no. There's gonna be some bad ones coming out. You know it. I'm not even gonna try.
This one?
Yeah.
From Millennial Mama. Millennial Mama says, it's always rich getting parenting advice from a bunch of dudes who have no kids.
Yep.
Not everyone can afford
feel you,
military
Mama.
school. Some parents are actually doing the best they can. I didn't say anything, so I'm absolving myself from the
Listen,
conversation.
What's her
I
name?
think the wrong
Millennial
people
Mama.
are the wrong
Millennial
people.
Mama, you are onto something.
Well, Millennial Mama, I think, is taking offense to the wrong thing. Millennial Mama's involved in her kids' life.
Now you're going to speak
The
for
people I'm talking. Listen, the people.
Exhibit A.
The people I'm talking about are the people that have
I apologize on behalf of the blue hoodie over here.
the people that have no presence in their kids, and we all know those people. All right, we could pretend like everyone's a great parent, but we know that's not the case. Like, there are some people that are more active in their kids' lives, and some that aren't. And typically, when you're more active, guess what? The kids typically do better, right? That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, I think we're good to wrap. Let's see, 9:50. Yeah.
Let's take one more.
We'll take one more. Okay.
One more here. I like it because it's Canada.
Let's see. Ooh, this is Canada. Okay, Josh.
nice.
Josh. This one, Josh.
Yeah. This one.
Josh Berg says, I just read a story today about a kid who was born at 22 weeks, but we deport the illegals and we up the cost of abortions to pay for their medical treatment, and we fix our population crisis.
Wait, say it one more time.
I just read a story today about a kid who was born at 22 weeks, but we deport the illegals and we up the cost of abortions to pay for their medical treatment, and we fix our population crisis.
That was the wrong one. It's okay. I think I rumbled and this one mixed up. It's fine.
Oh.
It's all right.
All right. Yeah, well, that was...
I missed it.
That was like a riddle, I think.
I think it was
Yeah,
a
I was
riddle.
I got to sleep on that one to figure out what he meant. It sounds like it was like maybe offensive, but
Join the member show is going to be fun. People yelling at me about
Oh, yeah.
how to parent. This is going to be fantastic.
yeah. So
I
we're
can't
gonna
wait.
head to the Rumble uncensored version. People are gonna lay into Sean, so
gonna
sign
be
up so you can be
fantastic.
there. Tony, you want to shout anything out?
No, I appreciate you having me on. If you're a Texan watching this, appreciate you following us. We post just about Texas news. So
Where can people find you?
CurrentRevolt.com or Twitter @CurrentRevolt.
Beautiful, beautiful. Sean.
Producer Sean, follow us. Timcast News everywhere. It's going to be a fun after show. So, like, if you are a Rumble member, if you have subscribed to us on Rumble, you can join that show. So do that.
Sweet. Carter.
Carter Banks. You can follow me everywhere at Carter Banks, and also Trash House Records. We'll have some cool announcements coming soon, so follow us there. Libby.
I'm Libby Emmons with the Post Millennial. You can find me on Twitter, and I would love it if you subscribe to my newsletter, which is thepostmillennial.com/Libby. I send it out every day, just things I've been thinking about and a bunch of stories. And also, I just want to shout out, we have a new sponsor, newsquiz.io, so you can check that out. And it's a daily news quiz that is, it's kind of like the New York Times one, except that we source all local, conservative outlets. So local, national, mostly, but sorry. Yeah, you should check it out. Thanks.
And thank you, Timcast viewers, for hanging in there with me.
Great job, Tate.
Got across the finish line, so Tony made it easy. He's the best. He's the GOAT. You can find me at Real Tate Brown on X and at Real Tate on Tate Brown on Instagram. I think I said that right, yeah. Anyway, at Real Tate Brown, anywhere you'll find it. We're going to head to that Rumble Uncensored live show. Thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. See you later.